Hello, all, and welcome. This is Dice of Ages, and I'm your not so. What is happening? Well, I'm your not so humble game master, TJ, and it's our 100th episode. and the Church of Poopty is in full swing, apparently.
He will be a demigod when he is, resummoned as a platypus.
I love how you have them all around your neck. We need to.
Well, that's because we couldn't get them short enough to just wear them, and properly be members of the church.
It's true. Like,
Cody figured out something. He's got all bandolier.
I'm just holding it.
Yeah. No, you got all wrapped around it, making it all look all leather professional. Anyway, happy 100th episode. This is a session. Doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. We're running a little late today, so we're just going to go right into it. Does anybody have any challenges for me?
What was the word that Zemdak suggested to Log to use for his mind fortress?
For his mind fortress?
As the password.
Zemdak suggested to Log to use as the password for his mind fortress.
Probably.
Holy shit, I do think I remember this.
I remember the other passwords I've used.
Does he use the same?
I gotta start the timer.
Yeah, let me at least pull up my thing first. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Does he use the same word for his safety word too? No.
It's a secret.
No.
My safe word's meatloaf. Because I would do anything for love.
But you won't do that. Wow.
Control F is failing me.
That was good. I feel dirty.
Well, yeah, that's because Log picked
This
that
is
little
too.
piece of
This is too
information
pinky.
that-
Or
It's just Mind Fortress in general.
It was what Zemdak suggested for his mind fortress.
Yeah. And now we're at 35 seconds.
okay, yeah, no, I don't know.
Bulwark.
Bulwark. Well, you got me. Take it. Take your dirty, bloody trophy.
I shall.
It's beautiful.
That is the same password I used for other things. I have poor security.
I was just sitting there going, "Hey, we know your security password now."
Any other challenges then? Now's the time. What do you think?
Last
Updated
episode.
password.
Look, I actually have something. Last episode.
Yeah, sure.
Meko played something as an instrument. What was it?
Oh, I know this.
I know you do.
It was an abacus.
Damn it.
Ha-ha! Because you couldn't figure out the abacus. Yeah. You were like...
What was the first item Argus ever bought?
Come on. Is this from session 0 or from the game?
Session 0.
Christ on the cracker. Let me at least pull up the proper file that would have it in it. Okay, this would be it. Okay, go ahead.
What's the timer for? 1 minute?
Yeah, 30 seconds.
Oh.
30 seconds. I have both Argus Flamebeard and Firebeard in here.
Yeah.
Perfect.
What is his real name?
Was it a bedroll?
It just evolved.
It was more. He changed his name literally during the first session.
I remember. I have his memories.
Was this as you were a child or when you were adult?
Adult. I didn't buy anything as a child. I'm past it.
Was it a weapon for your caravan? I don't know that.
It was a peach. It was a grilled fruit.
Oh,
From a fruit
right.
That sounds really good.
When you were going, when you're on your first job. Yeah.
Peachy.
Like, what's the first thing I ever bought with my own money? Mom. Do you know?
it'd be
You don't
so
understand
fun,
me.
Yeah,
All right.
it's healthy.
Is that it then? Go ahead, take your dirty money.
Okay. I like dirty money.
Okay.
All
right.
money's dirty.
You have one?
Looked at
Or no? Yes or no?
I do. I have nothing to wager against it, though, so I... And
Oh,
it's a
right.
50-50. Do you want a 50-50 if I don't wager anything?
Wait, what did you wager before?
Fuck it. Just do the thing. What is it?
Huh?
What side is black for Trisheni?
I like this. Have you made the deal today?
The left side.
Yes, you are correct.
Because I know what Machete looks like, and I just have to mirror it, and then
Yep.
That's
'cause why it
I
was
know what
50-50.
her drawing is. I know that her drawing has the brown on the right side, but if it's her, that's her left side. So.
That's why it was 50-50 and no stakes on my end.
Okay.
So.
All right, cool. So we're gonna start. A lot of shit happened last time. So much happened.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's up?
What's my name today?
Trishani.
I don't know if I like
This
your
is where we are.
Didn't realize Trisheni's name was pronounced with a burp
Well-
in front of it. I will do much better about that in the
Could
search.
be.
It's a
No.
more northern dialect.
Ah, okay.
So
At least more in Solis after a couple drinks, you know? It's fine.
memory device.
Everyone's name gets a little.
It was a little
preemptive.
bit more, yeah.
So we're gonna do the recap. Lots of stuff happened. So we're gonna try to run through this as this is not. It's gonna be a long story. There's no way to truncate this. So
Yeah, it was tough.
you were in Vlad's tower in Fort Yeda with Shade on the morning of the 8th of Achiel. You had passed some like what you discerned as vampiric youngsters while you were there.
Whoops.
Utterly destroying children.
When Zemdak comes to after being turned, he's still hungry and he attacks Argus. But you turn undead to try to stop him and end up killing a couple of these kids. And Vlad is like that stoic, you are. There, by all accounts, you should be dead right now. How dare you? And but doesn't do anything about it really. But you sense that there's
Happy
some
Vlad is
yeah,
gone.
Yeah, happy
Yeah.
Vlad is gone. So they are ally. You guys are allies because you share the same enemy, and it's just convenient for you at the moment. You're still hungry though. You try to attack Log.
Mekkel. Try to attack Mekkel. Mekkel then.
I jumped
Log
to
prized
save my
Zemdak
dog.
off of Mekkel's arm because you feed him
I tried to, yeah.
voluntarily, and you almost have a tantrum because of it.
You say
Jesus.
no.
You got- dysfunctional family.
Go to your corner.
And Zemdak's called a short king by Vlad, which is your new kind of
Another nomenclature.
moniker.
Yeah, his other nomenclature. Yeah.
He also talks about his connection to the Enduring Conclave. You guys learn the full name of it. It's called the Enduring Conclave, as well as his sister, Masha Ehrenbach, her involvement. You hang around with Shade. She discusses her falling out. Trisheni tells of Tiffany with the pink because you had your connection with Machete, and so you talk about the pink connection and how there was that was spotted, and Shade's very interested in knowing about that.
Because she still has
They also
feelings.
tell you about what happened to Safka, and for all that they know, they dropped her off in the north somewhere, and they don't know anything more than that. You learn that Shade's like big thing about how Tiffany's kind of like immortal, and the other one was like undead and can do a bunch of other things. Each Ken and Rai has their own specialty. That hers is that she's kind of a mage slayer, even though she's a wizard and a mage herself, but also appears to be far more in tune with the whole blade dancing thing as you are, as if like she had like a far more origin from it.
She went to a formal school. I just went.
She was classically trained
Yeah, exactly.
You just picked it up and learned on your own.
Right. You know.
by rote.
Right. Not rote.
So, but she does give you a spell scroll, Soul Eater. You guys rest. You Log and Zemdak eventually go out to try to find feed for you because you have to feed every day for the next
No,
7
we're
days.
not cool. We're not cool. We've established this.
You do
now.
find
The cool uncle. Yeah.
like a slaver and some slaves, and it was
No, we got the cultists.
Well,
right
first,
the cultists, but
it was-
first
It was a slave
That's
trader.
what
there was
we
a
went out.
there was a Red Lion Syndicate trader.
That was when we went to go feed them.
Yeah, and you got him. You turned him to a cockroach.
turned the slaver into a cockroach
turned him into a
after
cockroach.
after seducing him with
Tea.
in the rope
Tea
in the
Lorla-
Sky Lounge,
Sky Lounge.
tea and a belly dance, and he just hypnotically fell asleep.
Yeah, and so that just sates your hunger for a moment before you realizing you need to meal prep
Yep.
So
we went and raided a camp of cultists.
yeah, so they're called the Ascendants, and they're the people that are like kind of like a part of the Zealot group that is, for all intents and purposes, in control of the boss at the moment. They had just arrived in Yeda. They were like just arriving in Fort Yeda when you noticed they Log invited them into. You guys went into the tent, snuck into the tent. At one point, Zemdak was invited into the tent, which allowed that to happen. And you guys have been pretty much keeping them locked up in the catacombs area of the tower to feed on them like blood pegs when you need to.
Yep.
Your reasoning is that nobody's going to miss these people. In the following days, so then you guys have downtime and you guys do some cool stuff. You work on your Mark III. You help him with that. You guys like set up the portable forge in the catacombs. You made like a mini well wall to power your Mark III, and you used the same type of tech from the
Eldorum.
The Eldorum biomech thing that you had grabbed that was like that wasn't active. You cannibalized a lot of it to create like the limbs of your new Mark III, but you made like an egg in it so you could hop into it and still walk in the sun while being protected by it. So
Thanks for telling us what Eldorum is, by the way, Argus.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
yeah, right, because he casted the
Legend lore.
on what was it, the biomechanoid, or
It was, I think, the metal part of the door.
Trying to manipulate.
It was definitely the metal
Trying to
itself.
fabricate it.
Yeah. And then was like, oh shit, this isn't quite right. There's a living consciousness in here a little bit. What's going on here? And then you did, yeah.
Yeah, the metal of the stuff was like the same type of material as like the whole of that kind of the Aetherveld kind of material seemed to be of the same material. So all of that was of similar controvision. So you were able to cast it and realize like, oh, the well wall's made out of this. This is made out of this. It's Eldorum. Blah 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 blah. You learn some new blood abilities and try to learn some things about your weaknesses and resistances, but you'll realize some other stuff. I have a file for you that I've been writing in. Don't look too much into it. I've been working on stuff, not 100%, but I'll let you know when things happen.
Okay.
It's like getting little lessons from Daddy Vlad.
As much as it's more trial and error, because Vlad said, I did as much as I'm going to do for you. But I also can tell you to do stuff whenever I want because I own you. So
There's no consequences there.
what is it? Argus makes amends with the spirits of the 4 deceased Vlad's wards. Remind me of what happened. What?
Kids,
I
kids.
went into the realm of the dead and talked to them and was seen
The kids
by
that you killed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was, yeah.
Utterly destroyed.
Yeah.
Vampire kids.
Yeah, the vampire kids that you killed. You tried to
I
make
went to
amends.
go yeah.
Yeah, he didn't get all 4.
But he got
I got
caught.
3.
Yeah.
No, you did get all 4, I thought, right?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
I rolled
No.
that one on the 4th one.
Yeah.
So sad.
It says that you, during that whole communion with spirits, you noticed something dark scratching its needle-like fingers across some sort of like little moon held within its grasp, as you were kind of like being pulled through weird stuff.
Was that the one that said, fuck you?
I think it like pushed you back into your body at one point because you were like, "Don't spy on me, go away." Log swears up a storm, and Argus casts Gaius on him, or however you Gaius pronounce, so that you can't say the word. If you say the word "fuck," you take a ton of necrotic damage once per day.
But the fun thing is, you could dismiss it anytime.
Or is it whatever, however
It's
much
40-10.
damage?
It's
40-10. That's a lot. Still, it's a lot.
It's once a day.
So Cody has to be careful.
It's only one. You'll get back.
No, Log has to
Meckle,
be
you trying to
careful.
learn how to read. But you actually have brain damage, like brain damage that causes like a severe form of dyslexia, and or like so that like written language is very very difficult for you. But you and Shade hang out, and
Yeah,
you buy
the
her
bombs.
some very overpriced skewers. And you kind of have a bit of a camaraderie based on the fact that you both kind of tortured souls, but
And your family.
She's probably a little bit more self-aware about it than you are. Maybe there's some pity there. Who knows? But she still kind of sees herself and you a little bit. You get a couple of hieroglyph tattoos on like your sides, if I remember.
My hips, so
Your
that
hips?
if I'm drawing my weapons or my books, I can just.
Phew, phew. Cool.
Real quick, the kebab guy cheated Meckel. So Argus made sure to help him out there.
Yeah.
So we were getting free meat deliveries.
Yeah, and Meckel didn't seem to care at all because, like, I don't care how much it costs. I get to hang out with Shade and, like, we're talking. So, but yeah. So you're getting free food pretty much while you're here.
Nom, nom,
Meckel's
nom, nom.
concept of things too is a little skewed. So
I think if we were getting free food, Trishani would have been like, as she was continuing to just scribe scrolls the entire week, being like, "Can you save some of that for later, please?"
And it was worked out that after we leave, if Shade stays, there's always a
continue
delivery
getting
of
Uber. She's
kebab
not
coming
there.
in.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, but there is a. Well, I guess
Sure.
you wouldn't have to know.
meat.
Meat every day.
Meat. As long as the economy keeps up.
As long as that kebab guy's in business.
Yeah, as long as his bad guy's here, because people set up shop here and then sometimes move. But yeah, so you got pretty much a swear jar spell on you. You got free. You're connecting with Shade. You get tattoos. You make another robot
Mark III.
Mark III. You bring Moonchild back.
She's
You
so
guys teach
teenage
some.
and weird and like funny.
You guys teach some
Awkward puppies.
each other some
Yeah.
spells. You work on a bunch of scrolls. You've done all that stuff, but we don't need to talk about it. Yeah, Moonchild's in that weird teenage awkward form now. You do the whole dreamscape thing now, and you send Trisheni into Queenie's dream, and big old lore drop stuff about how that the Queenie's been working in a more kind of court capacity or an attaché capacity as far as politics and influencing things to happen to like probably better it and better the world and perhaps create more space for like more moral things to happen as far as they're concerned, working with Ultier, working with Lady Rhea of the capital, and some of the consequences of those has some far-reaching ripples that appear to be helping you in certain things too. And so she can mine for information and other things. She has learned that Lestrasia, who was, if you remember in the one shot, was the dragon that she that your barbarian was like, don't forget, don't run away from your feelings, don't conceal feel, and
Little cannonball. Just,
little dense little ball,
yeah.
I hid in the corner.
dense little ball of hate. Grr, grr, grr. So a bunch of that information is given to you. A lot of lore that I'm going to mention here, but how deep did they go into like the Lustrasia about like what dragons were and like how?
They mentioned at least that dragons were caused to not have tears by the elves.
Yeah.
That was a big thing, and obviously dragons are real. And then
Told her about the other ones.
yeah, and I told her or told them about the other ones. So.
Right, and that she's like young. She wasn't not one that was here long
Yeah.
ago.
So that I mean, there's an exchange.
Dozen one, right?
What?
You told them about
The baker's dozen, the encounter with the blue one, as well as the
Right, because you're connected with your
the
sister.
the live blue one, plus then the fossils of the red dragon, plus the temporal dragon that we met.
Right, and the Foth of
in
Ruins.
Yeah, in the Foth of
So
Ruins.
yeah,
and then,
because of the CNN breaking news update that Trisheni has been getting with all of the information that Misheni knows, as they kind of like merge their minds and they're getting all of the information and they're of one mind, my mind to your mind, very mind meld stuff going on. A lot of lore has been moved around, and now with the dream spell, you can just be in people's dreams and you're starting to get a lot of information from other companions that you have that seem to know a lot of stuff. So a lot of lore got dropped.
I think then we just raved the rest of the night, and they were like, "I
Yes.
don't want tea. What are you doing? I'm
Right.
from Solis."
You
And-
did learn, however, that there's a connection between Darius and
Yes.
the Garnet Flake and the Firebeard families, who are in hiding. where Darius is like they're like as teachers are just kind of like working, kind of like witness protection in the capital near the War College, like the northwest quarter of the capital.
The capital of the Protectorate.
It's capital of the Protectorate. Yes, that's correct. Every time you feed and kill somebody, Argus incinerates them,
Yep. And I take their hands.
and you take their hands.
Chop off their hands first. And then
What I
burn the body.
expected.
Detonate the body.
You do interrogate them, I think, before you execute.
Yeah,
them.
we did.
Oh, no, that was after because I do it.
Oh yeah, you spoke with Dead.
Oh yeah, you did speak with Dead.
Yeah.
Fun. You learned about Bondant Belias,
And we learned about the sacred beasts.
who was another one that was here, and Bondant Belias, and you learned about
was
yes,
below.
and Bondant Belias seems to be after the same thing that Vlad has told you to go get because you owe him a favor, quite a few.
Yep.
Which is called, I believe it's called the Vision of Truth. And he said that there's something around in this area in the catacombs, and the Norwegian catacombs spread for everywhere. They're ancient. So they are massive, and some even theorize this is the entirety of the underground of the region of the Maw, but others say like that would be impossible. That would be hundreds of thousands of square miles. Apparently Bonded Belias, another ascendant that was not of the group that you guys captured, the 8th ascendant of the 7 that you captured, I believe, somewhere around there. The 6, I guess, the 7, just one of the extra ones, was sent in the catacombs to do that and was supposed to meet up with the ascendants later after they possibly found information of or found the thing to take it back to Babas and take it back to the zealots that are now still in control of Babas. Something to do with an eye, something to do with the vision, that it's supposed to nullify powerful magic. So after all that downtime on the 15th of Achiel, you guys decide, okay, we need to do this thing. We need to go down in the catacombs. We need to take care of this. But Shade has said, Shade says, I'm gonna come with you. Vlad says, yeah, she's going with you,
Yeah.
and she's gonna help us. So you know how powerful she is. So this
She's
is
like, I'm not going to let you guys fuck this up.
yeah, she's not gonna let this. She's being your chaperone, pretty much. But Vlad and her seem to be under the impression that you would be incapable of taking care of this if Shade did not come with you. And you know how powerful Shade is, may make you feel a type of way as far as what it is you're about to walk into. And I believe that's it. So it says the following day. So that means, I guess, if the 15th is like the last day that you guys talk about this, I guess the following day is the 16th. So we're coming back on the 16th.
No, the 14th was the last day of downtime. The
Yeah.
15th is the day we were setting off.
Okay, cool. So are you guys doing this in the morning, or are you doing this midday?
Well, so now our mornings are
We're
in the evening.
We're on nocturnal.
You're not right. You're nocturnal right now. You're what is it? You're not diurnal clock. You're
So I guess this would
circadian
be
rhythms have been
like the evening
inverted.
of the 15th when we wake up.
Yeah, if that's what you want to do it, if you guys want to leave in the evening.
Right.
I assume
Yeah.
if you guys want to be around because of what's happened to Zemdak and how Zemdak hasn't been able to really go outside unless it is night. If for those of you that did want to be nocturnal, to be able to have moments where the group was all together, that would be required. But not all of you have to be. I'm also very happy to be like, I don't want to keep track of that. I don't want to keep track of that at all. I just want us to be like, if you think that you're going to leave on the evening of the 15th and you want to continue to be nocturnal, that's fine. In fact, being nocturnal in the Maw is advantageous because you're awake when you move, and although it is very cold, it's a lot better than dying in the heat in the sun, as you have learned before. So do you guys want to be nocturnal over this
We've
break?
been
You want to
nocturnal
like
for-
start
Yeah,
shifting to that?
for a couple
I'm
weeks.
just saying, that's what you like, because you can either be firmly nocturnal or firmly diurnal at the end of your downtime. It's up
Like,
to you.
From the moment we got into the desert, we've been shifting
trying.
ourselves to
Yeah,
be.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't
okay,
think
cool.
even downtime would have wanted to
So
shift it.
moving forward, we have to assume that the time is that you're up is from like dusk to dawn, or that type of thing. Okay.
Yep.
You do awake around dusk, I'll say. Is there anything you guys wanted to do before you headed out? You do have your thing. I have your mini. Don't worry about it. I'm working on it. You do have your Mark III. It is powered. It is moving. It is able to do its own thing on its own. It doesn't have any bells and whistles. I don't think you had enough time. You were working with material that you did not know how to work with. So it was a lot of work to have both of you just to get this alien tech, strange material to even function with your own type of tech.
Yes.
I think I had used fabricate to kind of help make it.
Right, you turned the door into like an
Yeah,
able hip
whatever
to
you
make up
needed
the
to-
pod out of it. So it's like
Yeah.
mostly made out of the same material, but with his knowledge of magic and tech. Like
The one thing I was able to get into it,
Yeah.
the only bell and whistle was I turned Conk's old dome
Right.
into the hatch.
into the hatch, yeah, and
And
you
I-
had the faceplate of the wolf of
I got
Crash.
engraved onto the inner portion of that dome the darkness spell.
Right.
But it only runs when someone magical is within proximity to it. It doesn't have its own power source.
Right. So
Yeah,
you
'cause log
pretty much
helps
you
you
have to
do
be
that.
in it.
Yeah.
It has to be on
Yep.
for
when
the
I
darkness.
hop in there, shut the hatch,
and then
darkness.
yeah,
falls.
it just darkness is so magical darkness only on the interior. Of it.
Correct.
Which is fine.
That was the only bell that I got into it.
What I will say mechanically is that if anything would perforate your shell and
Mm-hmm.
perhaps cause a ray of sun to come through, the magical darkness would stop it,
Protect.
unless it was also magical like daylight or magical other that was of a higher level. Because the darkness spell was only a second level spell, correct? If I remember correctly. So that was it. So it does mean that if you pop the hatch, it would
Certainly
stop.
second.
But if it would be break apart by other means, unless like really shredded into like and I think we just kind of have to roll with how
Yeah.
How shredded?
how shredded this thing would be when it would stop working. Like when does it consider something to be closed with just a hole in it?
Right.
And when does it consider to be like, nah, this thing's torn apart?
Yep.
We'll just roll with it. So yeah, I think that's good. That's really, really smart. So if you get shot by a bullet and it puts a hole through it, you're still fine.
Yep. I mean, it is
You
made
can
of
still,
Aldorum,
but you
and
can't see through magical darkness, can you?
I cannot. No.
So you are muscle memorying all of your controls here.
Yes.
So how do you see outside of
Well,
this
from the interior of it, yeah, I don't. I don't normally go in there unless in an emergency I need to hide.
Okay. So you can control it like you would a Gundam, like a little mech,
Yeah,
once
yeah.
you're inside of it, and you know how to do that. But I will say, while you're in it, and if you're using it to control it in that fashion, you will
It's always
be
been to
blind.
It's always been able to respond to like basic verbal commands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. You can tell to do the thing, and it
Yeah,
has
yeah,
its own cameras
correct.
and magic that it
Yep.
censors it.
But
It
right
can
now,
see-
no, there's no way that I can see and pilot from the inside.
Yeah.
I can do it blind, but
What I like because you're this is really really weird because I think I want to probably just do the mounted rules when it comes to you being inside of it,
Sure.
where like the thing could either attack the mount or you, except you're behind full cover,
Yeah.
kind of ish, and they have to like break through it to get to you if they
Okay.
want to attack you, and you can if you're inside of it you can I think if something attacks you can choose your mount to take the damage instead. If I believe that's like one of the big rules, if I remember correctly. But do double check that on me. Just have the mounted combat rules available, and then if there's anything about that we want to tweak, come to this, then that's fine. But yeah, I think it's going to be the main benefit. If something's trying to hit you while you're inside of it, it's going to be difficult for them to do so because you can choose what takes the hit.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, you are a very intelligent individual too. So, like, I feel like, especially being more on the artificer side with that sort of stuff, you're able to see geometrically a little bit more. So, like, I feel like you could like see what was going on.
I mean, I can
or
still
envision.
command him from inside, so that's still
Yeah.
my
Yeah, he can
bonus
still use his
action.
bonus action to
Yeah.
make it do, and it can see. But if he wanted to like
My actions will
Fully
just be
see.
blind.
Yeah, if he
essentially.
wanted to control the body
manually.
manually to like get whatever enhancements it has to its attack for his attack is something I would allow. It's just that he's suffering on the blind condition while he's doing so. So if he wanted to like use its stats to attack somebody while he's in it, he can, but he'll be blind, so he'll most likely be at disadvantage.
Okay.
Unless vampire sight gives me magical dark vision.
I don't think it does. I will pull up what I've been building for you.
Because I thought it gave me like superior, or it bumps you up to 60 feet if you don't have it. But I didn't.
Do you have a name for this third?
I do. This is Whir.
Okay.
Like Whirlybird.
Like,
Gotcha.
Cool. Here we are. Yes, so you have sunlight hypersensitivity, which like you take damage from being in the sun. And where is the? There you are. You also have. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't,
never mind. I don't see that.
I don't think you just have your dark vision that you would from being gnome.
Yep.
And that's about it. I think I might change that. I think like giving you superior does make a lot of sense, but we'll talk about it later. But you don't have what Log has as far as Devil's Sight, like being able to see through magical darkness.
Right.
So it doesn't really matter when it comes to this.
Yeah.
See it all.
Cool. So now we've like smoothed out all the mechanics of that to understand it. Is there anything else you guys wanted to do to prep before you headed out?
No, one for the road. Good berries, everybody. Mage armor.
You got it. Good berries and mage armor. Staple.
Moonchild licks me and does her gift of readiness on me.
You got it. Gives you the gift of readiness. Does that whole like nuzzle thing. Like she boops you with her nose and then like comes back and like puts her head up like let's go. And that's like her casting the spell on it. Yeah, it does exactly what Apollo does when he's
what he
like, come
does.
on, let's go. It's time for a walk. What's up?
I was gonna say I cast mage armor on myself also.
Okay, cool. Yeah. You guys, we all got access to some a wealth of new spells from some deep magic stuff. So as long as you guys are prepared, what I will ask is that when you do have, I have not had a chance to read through all of it, absolutely, because it's so much and it's a lot of fun, and I'm very, very excited about it. But if you want to use some of the new stuff that we've added to the campaign, just do your best to try to make sure that it's in front of you so that you can read it out to everybody at the table and in the audience and me, so that I know what's happening. Make sense? I'd be like, hey, what does that do? And you just tell me what it does. Cool. Anything else before you want to get started? And is there any types of preparations to try to figure out where you need to go?
At some point during the downtime, I would have liked to purchase a couple more torches.
Easily, that's
Yeah.
yeah. However much they cost in the book is how much you're gonna spend on it. It's easy. It's no big deal.
Coppers.
Yeah, I think Argus probably accompany you because like,
Does-
no,
do
you're
you
not gonna
accompany
pay
me
any
this
more
time?
than this.
Yeah.
I'll make sure he doesn't. He
Okay.
uses the right money.
Yeah,
All
he
right.
pays the proper amount for the torches. You got it. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, because you guys realize that you are going into a scenario where it's most likely going to be dark, and that's it. And there's not going to be a place. The catacombs, if they ever were like inhabited, and have no longer been inhabited. Not
1 copper
constant
piece.
with light.
1 copper.
Yeah, it's one of the cheapest things in the world.
Yeah.
It's a piece
I
of
guess
wood
I
with a
should
rag
get a-
attached to it,
I-
dipped in some oil.
Yeah, I should probably get a tinderbox too.
Yeah, that's
so I
fine.
can light it.
Also, I try not to be too much of a stickler with that shit. Whatever.
That's
as long
fair.
as you keep care of it. So those of you who do not have dark vision are going to be are aware that you're going to have trouble here. Now, Trishani, you're very well aware of what goes on down here. You know how you're good with the environment, but you also know you can't see down here.
No.
So torches will be invaluable in this time. If those of you that have like light spells and stuff like that.
I was about to say, why are you looking at me? I don't have a light spell
I
anymore.
don't think anyone does.
Yeah.
We have his.
Not here.
We have
Kevin's
the.
not here.
No,
yet.
no one has like.
We have the rapier. don't
Yeah,
we?
all that does
But
is
it's just
all
shit
it does
points
is you
north.
open it and it points you north and then it disappears.
All I
again.
have is my flame spell. That's our only torch.
I can do all right. Shakar, I know you haven't seen over the last week. I know I haven't seen you guys a whole ton over the last week. I've been really writing down a lot of spells, but I can see through him. It'll be okay.
What is he right now?
He's gonna be a burrowing owl again, just because
Okay.
we're in the desert. I want him to be a platypus again, but I know that this terrain is just not
The whole like
conducive
fluff
to
up
that.
the out and like digs his head in.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah, buddy. Scratches.
Cool. So if you warg into him and if he's on your shoulder, you can do that. Great. You'll hear and see what he does, and otherwise you are deaf and blind. Cool. So the only person that really won't be able to see is going to be Meckle.
Who has it? Will light a torch.
He's just going to light a torch, yeah. So it's just Meckle with the torch, and the rest of you...
Walking in the darkness.
So if you guys want to... You just said there's somebody perhaps nearby. Now, nearby as far as the mall is concerned, who knows what that actually means, just because of how relatively of much of an expanse that is. You also don't know which direction you may be going. But around the place where you guys set up your forge... Do you pack that up, by the way?
Yeah.
You pack up your forge? Okay.
Yeah.
And the anvil. Do you need to roll anything for how many times you use it, or
No, it takes 2 days to you can only use it
Once
every third day.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
So-
you're probably
Once it collapses, it takes 2 more days to recharge before we can deploy it
so
again.
it probably took you most of your downtime to do that. So you probably collapse it before you leave.
No. You said if once we open it, it can stay open indefinitely.
I know. I'm just saying that you will not, because you're leaving
Yeah.
soon after you finished what it is that you were doing with it.
Yep.
It'll probably need a day or two to be able to be used again.
Correct.
Is what?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and say that you knew you were leaving the evening. Oh my God, the morning of when you woke up, and
On
so
the
you
15th.
put it, and so you
Yes.
put it away when you went to sleep.
Correct.
So you probably have like a day and a half before you can use it.
You sound like somebody on night shift trying to explain days to
I
somebody who
know.
works
It's
during
just
the day.
because day is sun. It's just during the light of because
The
day is
swing shift stuff is worse.
yeah. So anyway,
Depends on how your swing shift's set up.
you packed that up. You are met down in that area by Shade. She appears to be she's not there one moment and then she's just there the next. Very typical for her and her sisters. So and she just is kind of like leaning up against the wall, looking menacing. And
I'll
very
hand
tall.
her a bundle of kebabs that I've already prepared to have.
She just kind of like nods and then mostly doesn't look at you and reaches them up and just like it's another day and starts eating them like it's a given at this point.
Meckel has a permanent stain of sauce.
She like you have Steve sauce. She like taps where the wall beside her that she's leaning on with one of the kebabs, like gesturing you to like stand beside her. You're good. All these other fucks though, I don't know.
I do so.
You wave at her. She just purposely does not. She like does one of these where she just does not like look at you waving. Is Mark III with you
Behind me.
behind you?
Like I didn't make a good riding spot on this one, like I did with Conk. So
Yeah, you have to either be in it or that's it.
yeah, in it or walking. beside
It's
it.
it's smooth in the way it moves, and it's like kind of makes that sound when you hear the threads snapping from a big metal cable that they use in construction, like from a suspension bridge cable. Like if that was snapping, it's kind of like a very very subtle sound of the sound it makes when it walks. Cool. Do you lean up against the wall with?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're like yeah, cool. I'm part of the crew. Part of the like she's like almost twice the size as you are.
Part of the ship, part of the crew,
Yeah.
part of the ship, part of the crew.
Part of the kebab. Part of the crew.
Hey Shane, did Vlad know where we were supposed to look?
I realized that I was doing her accent wrong because Taylor did a posh type of accent like this. So I have to fix that. So she's like, no, I don't really know where I'm supposed to go. I'm just supposed to make sure that you don't die or that we come back with what it is that we went out there for.
Well, that's not very helpful.
Well, if he knew where it
I'm not
was, he
saying
would
it-
just go himself.
I'm not saying it's your fault, but like
I know you're
we're
not.
searching
You better
blind.
not be.
We're searching blind through what could be
We're gonna go have some fun.
leagues
We're-
of catacombs.
We're gonna go a spelunking.
It's not our first rodeo.
The only thing we know is that the Bondant is also looking for it, so probably wherever they're looking.
Should we find them?
Do we know how to find them?
Somebody has locate creature.
Somebody, yeah.
I mean, could you send? Well, we don't know what they even look like, right?
Try
So
on them.
And what
Yeah?
was the thing we're looking for? The eyes of truth or something like that?
Vision of
Vision
truth.
of truth.
We could.
we could. It could be.
Scry on them.
The vision of truth.
Just uses my 5th level spell. Or my highest power.
Well,
It's okay. We
What else
don't
we
need
gonna
that
use it
anymore.
Why don't we just walk around?
You are considered satiated at the moment, by the way.
Yes.
So when you take 2d6 healing on the
Yep,
top of
I'm-
each of your turns.
I'm at the top of the.
Yeah, I did change it around a little bit. So,
Oh.
this isn't updated for some reason.
There were 4 levels. I was at the top of the. I was at the 4th level of full.
Yeah, I don't know why it did not update. So, it's okay. I'll pick it up later. But yes,
But if you, yeah, I don't know if the new satiated is still all the way full or not.
yeah, you. I'll have to find it, but
Okay.
you do get healing at the top of your turn, if you need it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have to pull out my other computer and pull it up because I don't know why it wasn't quite updated. But
I mean, to scry on somebody, do you have to actually know them? Kind of like how you have to know somebody for, talking to them, or
I mean, we know his name.
that's all you need? Cool. I feel like that could at least give us some contextual clues, maybe?
Do you guys have locate object or just locate creature?
Well, I've got creature. I don't know about
What
him.
object would we be able to choose?
The vision thing that we're supposed to find.
But we don't know that object. We're
Yeah.
not familiar with that object. I
Don't you just
no
have to know
idea
what it's
it looks
called?
Well, and also, like, Vlad was a little
Said it was
nondescript.
fuzzy.
Yeah, nondescript. He was like, oh, it could be a person, it could not be, it could be a thing.
I guess that's fine. Yeah. Try and find the Bondant dude. Maybe he knows where it's at.
Well, first question: if we scrying him, we have any clue? I think locate creature might be better than trying to scry on them.
The last time we were down in Catacombs, it was a maze. Knowing what the walls looked like where he is isn't going to help us find him.
That's what I'm thinking.
So yeah, locate. A location spell, like point us at this guy, is going to be our best bet to find him.
what's the range of locate creature?
1,000 feet, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
1,000 feet. So meaning that if you're not with that 1,000 feet,
We have to be within a kilometer. of him.
then nothing will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 1,000 feet. Well, I guess it's close to a kilometer.
Oh yeah. No, sorry. 1,000 feet.
Kind
is not a
of.
kilometer.
Yeah, it's much shorter than that. But you have to be within 1,000 feet of them for it to even really like work.
Ping.
It'll still be on as long as you concentrate on it, but you won't get a blip
Right.
unless they're within 1,000 feet.
Yep.
It does last an hour.
Oh,
Does
it
last
does.
an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have the time to get there if you need to.
Yeah. If you know the right way to go.
Yeah.
Dog, you can smell things out, right?
I mean, me and Moonchild. Yeah.
I don't know why I'm talking. I'm not here yet.
You don't exist.
So between our trips back and forth, between here and the forge, how much of the first layer have we explored? Do we know kind of like where there are ways down or further out?
Of the catacombs, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I would say of the first layer, like under the tower.
Right. Between like where we get into it and where the forge was.
I would say not much. You probably haven't gone too far out of the bounds of Fort Yeda, like maybe like a football field's worth of size.
Okay, so
Like,
we have really
because
no...
there would be no reason to go, because the farther you go away from that, the more dangerous it becomes, because you're not under the protection of the barrier of the boss. Like the curse of the wandering is in full effect out here, whether they're underground or above ground. So, and who knows how many dead things are just wandering about.
And you guys incinerated a couple, I think, right over the last
Yeah.
week? Yeah. Just,
We made
Yeah,
noise,
some
they
did. You
came.
made a lot of noise. Some people. So, like they. I mean, the fact that this has been here for so long and people are still down there and they're still showing up means who knows how far these things stretch, and how many are actually down here, and if they're that ancient, like.
Yeah.
Like you can clear an area as much as you want. Like who knows? There's always people being born and dying. And granted, if it's down here, especially if it's deep, either people came down here or died, or they're from a long time ago.
So now what? As I light my torch.
Actually, I do want you to roll a. I want you to roll an insight check at advantage for me, please. Because you fed on all of those ascendants, right?
Double 20s.
Whoa.
You're kidding me.
Take a picture of that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Where's my quacker?
You don't have one. How about just a...
But inside
Yay!
inside only gives me a +1, so
Perfect.
21. I'm not a wise man. I'm a smart man.
You're not a
I'm
wise man.
man.
I think you get a little like,
I don't
as you guys
people
are kind of
very
like
well.
piecing this together. You also kind of piece together in your mind. You remember that there were like flashes of either memories or thoughts, or you're not sure. Like every time you fed on one of these ascendants, feeding from their blood kind of gave you just a dash of their essence,
Okay.
whether that be like memories or something like that. And they were like fragments, shattered puzzle pieces. And so each one in its own didn't make a whole lot of sense, but you had like 7 of them. So you kind of had you had a frame of reference, and you could possibly have like pieced some things together, and your mind starts rushing through, and there are some scenes that you're able to like play out in your mind from a bunch of different perspectives as you can kind of like reconstruct it 3D in your mind space of them having a conversation with Bondant Belias before they left for Babas, and Bondant Belias like going on their own and being like, we'll be like a day or 2 behind you at most. Knowing that, okay, so a day or 2 behind, if a person can move in, like, assuming they were like walking and like not being careful or being careful, like if they were moving like a normal pace, if they walked like an 8-hour day, they could get like 24 miles away. So they could be somewhere between 24 to 48 miles away. If they were trying to be careful, it would be around like half that. Or like somewhere probably like a little more than half, maybe around like 18 miles per day. So they could be somewhere between like 48 to 18 miles away, given what you know about that.
How far
They
did
got
you say,
here a
sir?
week ago.
Oh, right. They get here a week ago.
We caught them on their first day into town, which was 6 days
No,
ago.
that's correct. And Bondant Belias was a day or 2 ahead of them.
Right. So
we're
he's been
talking,
here for a week.
Possibly, because we don't know how long it took him to get here, but we do
Right.
know that we so as far as they are concerned, as the ascendants, as you're going through their memories in your mind, like as the fleeting thought of their blood starts to get burned off in your memory, you don't know when Bondant Belias arrived, because once Bondant Belias left Babas, they did not have contact with them anymore. So it's possible that Bondant Belias, the fact that you guys have been here for this past time and you haven't seen this individual and you guys have been pretty observant, the likelihood of them having arrived before you is likely. Having said that, that means they must have arrived at the very least a day before they did. So they are at the very least 18 times 7, 77 times 8, 48
3.
plus, no, 6 times 8, 48 plus 8 is 56, so 56
Michael
plus
126.
70,
rattles in his
146 day.
26.
126. So they, at the very least, if they went the way the crow flies, they would be 126 miles away from this area if they went in a straight, like, radial direction away from here. That's not how catacombs work, so who knows? And at the most, much more than that. Possibly 24, so rather than 1824. So it's like over 200 miles away.
I mean, he's here in Fort Yeda to search the catacombs under Fort Yeda.
Right, but we don't know as far as like because Fad just says somewhere around Fort Yeda.
Right.
Because Fort Yeda is the nearest landmark for who knows how many miles.
I just mean, like, even as, like, he wouldn't be walking 100 miles away from the city, like, in a straight line.
Right.
Well,
You'd be
that's
exploring.
just
I know.
the way the crow flies is not possible because of the way the catacombs work.
Like-
so, yes. Yeah. Now, doing a
Logically,
spiral pattern is also difficult
That's
to do. as
logically,
well.
like, my mind is he's searching underneath the city first, and then he would branch out away
Yeah,
from
I
the
mean, then
city.
that's up to you what you guys want to think about that.
But I don't.
But that's what
That
you
would be
like.
how I
you,
search,
Like
but-
you're realizing like how most likely this is when they arrived, and this is how possibly far they could be away. And you don't know, so you don't have, like they have at least like 7-8 days on you. You don't know what that means because you don't know if they survived, if like what happened to there's could have been many complications, but they could be very very far away. So. And as I mentioned before, because Fort Yeda is like the only like landmark for a very, very, very long time, if it was the closest one, whatever information someone got about where this thing may be would be, oh, it's near there. Near could be literally anything. It could be 1,000 feet, or it could be 300
So
miles.
we won't know unless
you know?
we move.
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
TJ, can I retro?
Yeah,
Can I get a soul mark from one of those dead people?
Yes. Are you trying? You're trying to.
As I kill them, he sucks the
Right.
soul.
Yeah.
I would assume they'd be a 1 soul mark thing.
Yeah, not more than that. You need to roll for it, right?
Yeah. But I'd
There are
have, like,
multiple
7
chances.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
That one's an at 20. First was an at 1.
Yeah. There you go.
That's,
Yeah. If you want to roll 7 times to see how many you get, you can. If you
But
wanna
I can
try-
only get 1 soul in there at a time, right?
No,
I
you,
can hold up to 3 soul marks.
you can hold it with 3 soul marks.
Yeah, but I didn't know I could do.
Oh, right. It can only hold 1 soul at a time. That's
Correct.
correct. And it's just the quality of
Correct.
the soul that gives you a certain amount of marks. That's correct. Yeah. Yeah, you can have one of those if you want. Absolutely.
That was the extent.
Cool. So you learn about probably one of your new abilities, which is to be able to like have some like advanced insight on those that you feed upon, because you get like fragments of their existence, because it's like almost like the DNA like programmed memory, generational memory, like into their blood as you drink it.
Really?
Or whatever other essence. And also remind me, what was the color of your mother's skin from that flashback?
Blue.
Blue. Okay.
Yep.
Don't worry about it.
just bring it up randomly. It's all right.
Yeah.
Do we just roll a dice and which way we go, or
What else we got to do?
I mean,
You're the smart one.
Log, could you? You know how you sent me over to Queenie? I'm wondering, can you like change how you look in that dream so like we could pretend that you're one of like the dead people, and then you could maybe talk to them and be like, "Oh yeah, I just can't find you. Where are you?" That kind of thing. Is that possible or no?
I think I would have to know them a little
little
better,
better?
than
Okay,
Yeah,
more than
I
just a
think-
first name basis kind of
I-
thing. Oh, more.
I assume. I assume.
As if that's what it says in the spell, if you need to be like very familiar.
I mean, it
with
just says known to you.
No, well, I mean, they're known to you. You can make an attempt if you want to. They also have to be. What are you doing over there? Shh. There's. Save it for later. There's. Start throwing dice at you.
why
There's a
I'm hiding
chance it
behind
could
the
go. I believe it,
monitors.
if I'm not mistaken, there's a chance like there's a chance it could go wrong, right? And it doesn't work, or no, it just works.
It just works.
But you have to do it when they're sleeping,
Right. Yeah.
and you don't know when they're sleeping if they're not a nocturnal, diurnal. You don't know.
works or it doesn't?
Yeah.
Yeah. You could try. That's what you want to do.
It's just an idea. Leave it up to you. I don't know.
You need to go to bed. You need to go to sleep to make it work, though, don't you? Or does it put you to sleep when you do the thing?
No, I'm aware of my surroundings. I don't have to sleep at all. I'm aware of my surroundings the whole time.
Do you just disappear, or
No,
How does that work? Are you
it's all-
present in
it's-
2 different spots? then?
It's
In the dreamscape.
yeah. It's a
Yeah.
dream.
It's like
I'm
astral projection into their dream.
Yeah.
What happens to your body then?
I'm right. I'm where I physically am.
He might wake
But
up
I'm
with
aware
some
of my
writing.
surroundings.
That's wild.
It's a
Trance,
super
So
cool.
yeah.
your mind splits,
yeah.
I guess, because if you're in somebody's dream and also in the waking world at the same time,
Yeah.
wild.
It's kind of like a familiar, but you're still aware of what's going on around you.
That's insane. So you could like walk while being somebody in somebody's dream, like walk and.
Theoretically.
I don't know, DM, can you?
That's wild. I have to look
It's
at
a,
that
it's
spell.
a 5th level spell.
I mean,
though, right?
it's a 5th level spell. So.
Yeah, I guess it is pretty powerful.
I don't know, GM, can they?
Guess we'll find out. You could try.
Do you want to
They have to
try
be
it?
asleep.
Well,
I think
mean,
that the only requirement is that they have to be asleep at the time you cast it, right?
The target does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, but it doesn't wait. Like I can sit there and wait the whole 8 hours until they go to sleep, if I wanted to.
Right, because you cast the spell and then you use concentration.
Nope.
So, but during it's like long shot. Like if any time during those 8 hours they go into their subconsciousness, then you get to enter their dream.
Because it says if they're not asleep, I know that they're not asleep, and I can choose to just wait until they fall asleep, or I
Wild.
can end the spell.
Cool.
it's just,
I want to know.
Is there any save involved if they're
Well,
trying to resist you?
Only if I do the nightmare,
Okay.
which is a regular dream. Nope.
Or if they have like I don't know, maybe something specifically to try to protect from that, like you kind of
Like
have
Mind
your mind
Fortress,
fortress
yeah.
type of thing. Like there might be some fuckery with something like that. Like, but yeah.
Get lost, can't find them.
Yeah.
Doesn't know the safe word.
It's up to you.
I mean, yeah, we can try.
It's up. I mean, up to you. You can. Can you change what you look like in your dreams?
Oh yeah, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Okay.
Take damage.
Fuck.
Take more damage.
No, it's only once per day.
I have to roll that, right?
Yeah. So stupid.
Log immediately, like one of the first words he says is, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
20 damage.
This is how Log is gonna die.
He can only
So
take the
we're
damage once per
on-
day.
I know, but it's gonna be that 20 damage that
You
during
know
some
what day it ends
impending.
if you don't end it, right? Like what day of the calendar it ends when you don't end
Yeah.
it? Okay, cool.
It's 1 month.
Perfect.
We're still on multiples of 3, so if today's the 15th. It's a heart day.
Yeah, I don't. Did we roll for the heart last time or no?
Yes, you did.
We did at some point.
We
Okay.
did for the downtime days.
Yeah, the 12th I know we did, but
The
not.
9th and the 12th. Both would have been heart days.
Okay, so then the
But I
15th.
don't
Just
think
like
we
And just the
rolled.
15th is where
What
we-
day it would
where you
end
guys
if
are
you
right
ran
now.
out.
Yeah,
Like,
so
write down
we
what
need the
date
heart.
of the calendar.
Well,
We rolled last time, I think, and we
Yeah.
we did not.
there's 41 days in this month, right?
So somebody else wants to roll for the heart. They're welcome to it.
I can't give it to you, Argus, in good faith. There you go.
What am I rolling?
You know,
Get an
I
act-
charged
he,
the heart
he has
before.
done it successfully.
Yeah, he's actually the one who has charged it in
did,
the
you
past.
did.
He just got a 1 and a nat 20 in like rapid succession.
Just get a nat 20. That's all that you need to do. Nah.
Nope, I got a 12.
Okay.
He's like, I think I see a 2.
Oh, see, better? That's a 2 right there. All right.
It's a
I
lot
have to
closer
know.
to the 20.
Nope.
This is a new curse.
But,
It's called
you
the
know.
Kenton curse. It's like the Will Wheaton curse. It's wild.
I live in the spectrums.
Are we just seeing if any of us are going to hit that 20 there?
So, what are you guys doing?
Wouldn't have mattered.
I'm following Argus.
Are you going to try and dream connect? I mean,
I
we
can.
can probably just start walking.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah.
We can just start and, if anything happens, let us know.
Yeah. Do you want to like hold on to one of our shoulders or something so you're not walking into a wall?
I can see when I do it.
Oh, you're.
Yeah.
He gets a ping when someone goes to sleep.
That's super cool. All right.
It's fancy.
Yeah,
fancy shit.
you're super fancy, dude. You need to get a bow tie. Or at least a fedora, right?
What's a bow tie?
Oh, so it's this thing that goes around your neck if you're trying to be really fancy at the club
But
or
do
something.
they make them in clip-on? Because I don't know if I can tie that shit.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I knew a couple people that had clip-ons. It was alright. Yeah.
I wore that bow tie that one time, but it came out sideways.
And they laughed at you.
And
I
then-
remember.
Then I burned it.
That was me again.
I hate ties.
I'll just chew on the end of a kebab while I'm holding my torch, wrapped at your story.
Work can probably give you a piggyback ride.
Who are you talking to?
To
Oh,
log.
okay.
I mean, I know you said you know what's going on around you, but might help you concentrate better.
I mean, well, I don't gotta concentrate, but I'll take a free ride.
How high are the walls? Are the ceilings
Yes.
in here?
Thank you, Foghat. What's up?
How tall are the ceilings?
So it actually you and Trishani would probably be the ones that would be the most familiar with this type of architecture, because you're from the Maw, for all intents and purposes. There are spots in Catacombs where it does like widen and become like very tall, where stuff just like dips and like you can't see the ceiling, and then comes and you could either end up in a different level or like a wide cavern and then go back into more of a like just like corridors. Like there's a bunch of corridors, but there's also other wide open spaces. It's a smattering of everything. Most of what it is there are open rooms and chambers and large caverns smattered and scattered like
I think like the interior of an anthill.
kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but not as like jagged,
Person-sized.
But the architecture is very boop, boop, boop. It's beautiful architecture, so it is like right angles and stuff like that, and like down, except for when like there's slopes. So there are portions, but most of the time when you're in the cramped quarters, the ceiling's about 10 feet tall and the quarters are about 10 feet wide, and that's about what you got. It can be It looks like at one point there were sconces on these walls and stuff like that you're familiar with. Some of those sconces have been repaired in some of the lower areas in the borough. So at one point, the catacombs, as far as both of you understand, were well lit throughout. Like throughout. Like a whole civilization lived down here, possibly. Or this, at one point, was the civilization at like ground level, and over the years has been buried by sand. Or this was just like the first basement, who knows? And like the rest of it has again been lost, and everything else is like. So the height changes, but most of the year you're dealing with like 10 feet tall.
As we're walking along, can Trisheni just keep an eye out for any sort of, especially like hieroglyphs or anything in Maitan that might be saying, like, giving some sort of hidden clue about Eye of the Ascendant or anything like that? Just, I'm assuming we're continuing to walk down the tunnels, but there's probably some markings.
Roll a history check for me. I'll say at advantage just because of who you are.
22.
22. You're familiar with it, especially in the catacombs and other places, as they have done in Babas and other Mauritian cities. There are, because they realize, and they're very intelligent people, how confusing these things can be. There usually are at intersections pictographic instructions or directions of like telling you what way is what is what way. Now, granted, it's very referential, so if you don't really understand what that means, like where you're going, like if it says west to Drog Pit, if you don't know what a Drog Pit is, it doesn't really help you. However, because they're so old and there's still like a decent layer of sand down here, and who knows how much wind is swept in and been in draft chambers, or people and stuff has fallen apart, that a lot of that has been deteriorated and faded. There are some that are still intact. It's going to be on a case-by-case basis, like when you come to intersections and stuff, to see if you'll be able to read it, because a lot of this is ancient, like old. There are, but they do exist. But you'll be lucky to find some intact enough to be able to be read legibly.
Okay.
Granted, the deeper you go, most likely they might be more intact because they'll be more protected from the elements.
Okay.
I'd say we probably got to go pretty deep.
He's got a couple days searching ahead of us, so.
Yeah.
Just one last thing for me.
Sure.
If we go past like fossilized or skeletons of like scarabs or anything like that, can you let me know?
Yeah. Do you want? Are you just like trying to keep an eye out for them?
Like, I feel like I would resonate with them.
Sure. Do you? What's
the
your passive
blood magic.
perception?
The blood
yeah,
magic
I understand.
thing
I understand
is,
what you're going for. What's your passive perception?
19.
19. Yeah, I don't see if it's like obvious and it's not something you have to sift through the sand to look for. Go like, wait, there's a mound of sand here. Let me look. Let me look, guys. Can you just wait? Like, you're not going to do that. But if there's
Like, do you remember the Mummy movies?
I
where
know
there's,
exactly
like,
what you mean.
in the wall kind of thing,
Yes,
like
I'm way
pry
ahead
one
of you. I
out.
totally
with
get it.
knife
Yeah,
kind of thing.
I totally know exactly what it is you're talking about. Absolutely. As far as things embedded in the walls because of her high Trish did, like that doesn't happen very often.
No.
But it does happen in places of import.
Situationally, if we run across like scarabs, call that out to me, please.
Because yes, they are subterranean creatures, and they do go above. And what I will say is, like, again, things being embedded into the walls, that is for more important areas, especially ceremonial areas, places that need protection, temples, whatever the thing. As your everyday tunnel in the catacombs that just goes from point A to point B, not probably going to have those types of things. The most type of marring is going to be because of deterioration,
Yes.
and the directions, however legible they may be. But yes, your biggest threat that's down here is the Walking Dead. Okay, you're dealing with literally. You don't know what died down here. You don't know how long ago it was, and they're most likely not. They're most likely still here. The curse is quite unique in the way that the undead that are here do not deteriorate by any stretch of the imagination of the rate at which they would if exposed to like proper elements and like actual physics and chemical biology. Like, there's something about the curse that keeps them walking for long, perhaps millennia after they have perhaps died. Like, which makes it so dangerous. The curse of the wandering, those undead do not just fall apart because they can't hold themselves together. It's magic. There's magic involved. So, and even when killing the undead here, it's like there's still remains and corpses around. It's not a type of thing where like, oh, I got rid of all the hit points, so it's gone. There's possibility where it could rise again because it's still a corpse that becomes an undead again.
Knock it
How
down,
long you don't
destroy
know.
it.
Yeah, it's like it's got to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why.
Break all of its arms and legs.
Yeah, like little finger bones just roll towards you. So it is important. Like when you're well, if you encounter a skeleton, like burning it is a viable option. Now burning it underground with no recourse for ventilation, I mean that
Depends.
You can do what you want.
Yeah.
But magic. So we'll see.
I was just rereading the dream spell, and during the trance, I'm aware of my surroundings, but I can't take actions or move, so I would have to do the
Right.
piggyback.
So somebody.
Piggyback.
Yeah. So you're like comatose but aware.
Yeah.
Cool. That's torture. Oh my god. That's the word. I hate that. I hate that feeling. I hate even thinking about that. You're trapped in your mind. That's horrible.
But because you can
also
telepath.
end the spell.
Yeah.
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 Sort of like active
You're like,
meditation.
it's like
Log's been through worse. I mean,
that's true. It's like my nightmare. Be trapped in my.
Oh, you mean the other day?
Yeah.
You're walking
Poor
around
Stephen
on
Hawking.
or you're standing there on the phone waiting for the busy town to go away.
No.
I mean, at least this one would be your choice log, not.
right.
Yeah, you can like stop if you want to.
Yeah.
Cool. So
But yeah, we're
Any other
can
questions?
carry you.
No, let's go ahead and get going.
what cardinal direction would you like to head in? You don't have to pick a major one. You can pick
Down.
a tertiary direction. What was it? Not cardinal is northwest, east, south. What's the ones in between? What are they called? Not tertiary, not secondary directions. They're called.
No,
The
it
other
is.
ones.
I think it is secondary.
It goes primary, secondary, and tertiary directions on the compass.
Yeah, so I think it's
Yeah.
secondary direction.
I thought cardinal was the name for the primary, and there was another
Yeah.
name for the secondary.
Just second.
secondary.
Just secondary.
Okay. Like, just pick whatever you want.
Which
Do you have the dice, the directional dice
I
on you?
do. You want to roll it?
Yeah.
You want to leave it to the
Flip a coin.
Put it through the Tower of Terror. Let's see what happens.
the Tower of Terrorzine? You got
Yeah.
it.
We just spin log.
Yeah. You're going this way now.
We spin a sword in whichever direction it falls is the direction.
Cool. Sure, let's do it.
We'll do it with the cane, the sword cane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that
No,
way we still know
that'll
which
always
north.
fall north. Won't
No,
it?
just points.
No, no, it
Oh,
just
it's
Points,
points.
but we'll know which direction we're going then.
Let's see how powerful that magic is, though. Okay. Yeah, let's put it right here. That's a southwesterly direction.
All right.
So if you're going to southwesterly direction, if you know where Fort Yeda is on the map, you'll be
going
headed
back
towards.
towards-
You'll be headed towards the torrent where it would intersect with the Razor Fang.
Right.
So you'd be headed farther out of the maw, perhaps. But Fort Yeda is still quite a ways, like a good 100 miles or something, or like 80 miles into the maw. So somewhere around there. Cool.
Heading back towards Careening.
Yes, headed in the direction of Careening, correct.
Yeah, that's which way we were pointed. Hopefully, Lady Luck's on our side.
Okay.
Could use Korean.
Oh, you could.
So
You also have locate creature though, so at some point we're gonna have to give up and have you switch.
Yeah.
okay. So are you casting the dream thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Cool. And you're putting them on Whir? Okay.
Or we'll piggyback.
Sure. As like logs just like with the head over, eyes glazed over, open, but like drooling
it's a
over
familiar
Whir's-
sight, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But like you're like drooling down the egg-shaped shell of Whir as logs just like.
So we've been here before.
Cool. So you head in the southwesterly direction. Shade follows you. So how we're gonna do this is that this could be a multi-day thing. You are traveling. You're still traveling in a dark space. there are other complications of things that could possibly happen.
Yay.
There's also the constant threat of the walking, of the wandering. So, for the first day of travel, first I want to know a marching order. You guys can, if you want to, you can be 2 by 2 because it is 10 by 10 as far as a square for most of it. There are some openings and stuff like. But at least give me the marching order as an idea, and that way I know who's.
I will walk in front of Shade,
Well,
behind Argent.
I was going to say, since Shade and I are probably somewhat sneaky, we could range out ahead and behind.
It doesn't
Shade's
sound
a
like
wild
Shade's.
card. She can be whatever you want her
Right,
to be.
that's
She's
what I
extremely
meant.
powerful, so
Like-
whatever you want.
You could use the two of us to sort of like scout our direction.
You do what you want.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
Sort of makes sense to me.
You can also see in
Shade
the dark.
bumps you, Meckle, and she's like, "Are we trying to be quiet?"
Hey guys, are we trying to be quiet?
Well, yes, of course we're trying to be quiet.
Yes.
If there's undead down
Everybody
here-
hold still. And she like takes her hand and slices it on her scythe for a moment, and then like muddles it in her hand like you would muddles mint for like a cocktail, with like her thumb, and then goes and sprays this very like fine pink dust at the rest of you that settles down on the ground below you, and she casts Pass Without Trace on everybody. Now you're better at it.
If there's undead down here, we don't want to make a whole lot of noise and draw them all
Yes,
to us.
that's why I.
But
How do you? Okay.
What?
All right, so
you and I
Let's go.
make sure we don't run into any dead ends out ahead of these folks.
You want me in the front? Gladly. And she.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. So you guys are going
we
down
know
here. I
of.
want somebody to roll a. For those that are in front, I'll be rolling for Shade. I want you guys to roll. One of you needs to roll survival, and the other one needs to roll perception. Survival is going to be for navigation and seeing what's going on around you. The perception is like kind of keeping watch and being aware of your surroundings. You guys, it's an NPC, so you choose which one's going to do which between the two of you.
I'm going to be better at perception. Is
Okay,
her
so she'll roll
survival
Her survival's
not
pretty
terrible?
I have her sheet over there, but I have it up here. I think she doesn't have proficiency in it, but she's still not bad because it is a wisdom skill, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
19 perception.
19 perception. There is a moment where you are like very aware of where you're going and headed that way, and then you notice Shade isn't there anymore, because Shade was just not paying attention and she went down a different way, and then she wasn't there for a moment, and you're like, where did you go? And then as you're saying where did you go, she hears where did you go, and she's like, shit, and she like ends up right next to you again, and then she's there again. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't go the wrong way. She did not roll well. You do notice that there are some corpses here
Okay.
as you're passing through. These appear to be so obliterated that there's no way they could reanimate.
Okay.
You do see that there, whatever is left of them is being fed upon by some like beetles and somewhat.
So, I guess why I wanted to. There's a new sort of magic that I now have access to.
I'm familiar with the spell you're talking about.
So, like, do I feel an attraction to the scarabs?
Roll a animal handling check.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. I mean, like, you are both carrion feeders, kind of. You both feed on on what was once life or what is life.
As we're passing one of these, like, I want to find one of the dead scarabs that's in the pile of
Yeah, there's probably some
carrion
there, but,
and
like, what's interesting about scarabs is that the carcasses that they leave behind when they die are not fed upon by themselves. Like,
Right.
they're not cannibals. They don't eat themselves.
So I want to find one that's not moving. And
Easily enough, you can
Snag
find
it.
several. There's
Okay.
quite a few here. A lot of them scatter when you get closer.
just something I want to study a little bit.
Sure, you can grab like a handful of them if you want.
Yep.
Cool. Somebody please roll. Well, actually, no. Somebody else roll a D100.
Get that silver ball out here.
Yeah. So I actually want you to roll it twice, and because Shade rolled absolutely horrible and survivable, I'm gonna pitch which one I want to use, rather than you guys pick which one.
Roll the same number.
Jeez.
80.
You should probably roll that in, like clear that out in the octagon because it's
All the microphones just like got hit by a sonic boom.
Yeah, or
Cast
inside your
Thunderwave?
box that's padded, not.
Oh, that was 80.
80. You got it. I said roll it twice.
Yep.
That wasn't much better.
53.
53.
Yeah, but the table didn't jump
Yeah.
as much that time.
80 or 53.
So you end up in the corridor opens up into a wider area, and it does seem to slope down a little bit, as if this was once a larger chamber. There seems to be perhaps some pillars here at one point, but many of them have deteriorated. It is still dark in here. For those of you that dark vision, your dark vision, this chamber is large enough where your dark vision does drop off at a certain point before it sees the edge, at the edge of the wall. One of the things you do notice is tiny little pinpricks of like light that seem to be coming up from like way above, almost like it's reaching to the point where it's not too far from perhaps the surface. At least the ceiling is, but it's very high. And these pinpricks look like little stars in the sky of this underground chamber. But they appear to be not projecting like daylight, but what appears to be like that blue moonlight through them.
I was going to say, it should be night.
Yeah,
so-
I got you, boy. But it does kind of give this illusion of like a starry night sky, meaning that this is a quite a vaulted chamber. Like this could be like 100 feet up. You're quite deep at this point by moving around. Who is the highest passive perception? I think somebody's. Yeah, you got like what 20 something.
20.
You do hear as you like start traversing this area, you do begin to see like deteriorated like buildings. Like this was once kind of like how Machu Picchu but underground, where it's like a bunch of just the foundations of buildings are left. Like this was once like some sort of village or something that has been long since defunct, that used to be in a underground chamber away from the sun, but it's like a village, but you do hear ambiently like the beating of something, like a fan.
I use
or
my
wings or something.
mage hand, which is holding the torch
Yeah.
to go up.
To hold the torch 30 feet above you.
Yeah.
Cool. You hold the torch 30 feet
Michael,
above
no.
you.
We don't need to show everyone where we're at.
Yeah, and you give a signal flare to anybody else who might be in the
I
chamber.
was curious. It made a noise.
Because of the way how like torchlight works, it's ambient light. So if it doesn't have a surface to like bounce off of, it doesn't really give off any light. So yeah,
a
it's-
beacon
And
showing
once
us
it's that
exactly
high
where
up,
we're
it
at.
does. The one things it does light up is what looks like a tall obelisk that seemed to be somewhat in the distance, and a small ziggurat in the distance that appears to be taller.
But nothing making a sound.
At least not here. This is an echoist chamber, so it could be. It's hard to determine because of how the sound just because of how vacant most of it is now that all this stuff has deteriorated. But there does seem to be something that's making a sound in here.
All right, well,
Also,
since
the
he's-
ceiling appears, that top of it appears to be 120 feet up.
Okay. Well, since he scolded me, I'll bring the torch back.
Okay,
down.
you bring the torch back down.
Does
Seem to get closer though.
Does the sound seem like it's little wing beats or like amphiteres or like bigger things?
Amphiteres do not have little wings. I mean, like, amphiteres are medium creatures. They're like, they got big old fucking wings. They're not like birds. They are big fuckers.
I think he just had small minis the last time.
Yeah. They're medium creatures. they're like giant bats, kind of. And this sounds feathered, if that means anything. I think that would be enough to. I think that seems pretty obvious. It seems big enough that how slow it's beating. It's definitely like an owl, because owls beat their wings like silently. It doesn't seem like a bird. It seems like a feathered winged creature that is quite large. You don't know. It could be very, very. It's not. I will say. Okay. Here's what you hear. You hear. Not. And not. Okay, that's what the difference between what you hear.
Okay.
Sorry, we just leveled up, so I've got a lot of new
Sure, yeah.
things. Between like the steer crag, like Sherlock Holmesing finding things, and the exit that we found in the tunnel, like the little secret writing kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
I am starting to understand Thieves' Cant.
That was specifically made for. That was in like. That was more contemporary.
Yes.
It was something that's saying like, hey, if you're going down here to rob graves, this is a way to exit.
I'm starting to be proficient in Thieves' Cant.
Okay, cool, yeah.
So if we find like smuggler marks down here,
The only like
give me a chance.
the type of surfaces, because a lot of what you're walking on is just sand. That's kind of like flooded the first couple
it's
centimeters.
just
if not.
something that we haven't.
Sure.
Had to,
I'm just saying the surfaces that would have anything like that on would be perhaps some of the ruined buildings or the obelisks or whatever happens to be in this chamber.
Yep.
A lot of them are deteriorated. If some of that thing, if you're like actively looking for that type of thing, you can roll an investigation if you like.
Okay.
You can do that now if you want.
Yeah.
While you're doing so.
18.
18. This, I'll say you don't find Thieves' Camp, but you do find evidence of that other people have been here since after this place was a ruin.
Okay.
This place looks like it has been raided at one point before. You're not the first people here since it was like, active.
Yep.
So, but you don't find any Thieves' Cant here.
Just
the
more
evidence,
of something I'm proficient now.
The evidence
in
of
that.
I think you find is that there, what looks like some obvious indentations where there probably was some inset like precious metals that have marks of some type of thing that you was used to pry them out of, and that looks like because of like the layer of dust and sand and everything. It looks like something that was happened in a more recent than millennia ago. You guys are still hearing like. Does appear to be, I don't want to say like getting louder, but more prominent, like zeroing in on location.
We have its attention.
Yeah, it's less of an echoey and more of a like from source.
We could hide if you want.
It's not gonna go away. Like we got to get through this cavern. So.
All right, I guess let's just. Do you want to stand still and then we just wait for it to?
Just to ambush us?
No, we ambush it.
Then we don't stand still.
We could hide behind some.
Not a
things.
whole lot of places to hide here. Like behind perhaps maybe the lace ruined things are probably some of the taller ziggurats, or like the ziggurats that's kind of half ruined, and some of the obelisks. The rest of the other like ruined buildings only have that kind of limestone, sandstone foundation and some of the other type of quarry stone that's here. The rest of it doesn't ever really go higher than waist height. So there's not really a whole lot of places to super hide here as far as you can see. Granted, you can't see that far.
Waist height is like here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what's here. That's what's here. So like gnomes and dwarves, you might be able to hide behind something, but the rest of you, like, you'll have to like try to dive behind an obelisk. There's not it's pretty open here just because of how leveled a lot of this stuff is, because it is a ruin.
Yeah, I think we just keep moving and be aware that something's gonna attack us at some
Are you
point.
moving
Right.
quietly and stealthily
Yeah.
or fast?
No, we're still stealth. Like normal speed, but quiet.
Maybe
Okay.
you and I can. Turn
You
our
guys are
backs
still
around so we can keep it in
benefiting from Pass Without Trace at this
Right.
moment. So I'll have everybody roll stealth check for me.
I'm being carried.
I
so
still have my torch out,
So why don't you roll worst stealth check
Oh,
then,
okay.
and then it will
Alright.
just be
It's the
logs.
whole thing I've learned.
Oh, all right.
Okay, so I got to roll for Moonchild.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, I
I
don't
can do
have.
something.
Unless you wanted to unsummon her when you went into the thing.
Add 10 to it.
No, she'll be hanging out.
Is Conk any more stealthy because he's?
You mean were?
Were because he's.
Were?
Right, because I haven't given you a stat block. I'll
I mean,
say
I'm still using the Steel Defender 1.
yeah. I don't. So because it has to do with your level, right? It levels
Yes.
up when you level up.
Correct.
Nothing that.
Oh, its proficiency goes up when mine does.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
That's how we kind of represent your advancement and how making it work.
Yes.
Other stuff as far as like making it more something or other and giving it bells and whistles will have to be some other type of thing. And now that it's like this Eldorum technology, who knows the potential that you could have with it.
Okay. Plus 10 from...
Plus 10.
So dirty 20.
Dirty 20 for Zemdak?
No, for Were.
What about Zemdak?
Zemdak got higher than that. So 30? Closer to
30 and a 20.
Well, so for
Moonchild.
Moonchild, so it goes past what is
Any,
plus
I
10?
believe it's like up
Yeah.
to like 8 creatures in a 30-foot radius or something like that. So yeah. all
So,
of
so
them.
that's then 36 for Moonchild.
36, awesome. Trisheni?
27, and then Shakar got 27 plus blah.
Yeah, sure.
26.
26.
32.
32. All right, so amazing numbers all the way around. You guys do that whole like lower your center of gravity so you can still like run without like going boom, 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 heels into the ground. You do hear, especially you, Argus, from behind you. There's like the spot where you were only moments ago, and the spray of sand and the settling of the tiny pieces of quartz dashed upon some of the ruins, and then settles into the other small dunes in the sand. Like something swooped down where you were before, and that happens. Like you continue like rushing. You still don't see like an end to this. You're still like moving through this. You are just like passing the ziggurat now, which like you're assuming like, okay, if that's the center point, we still have the whole half of this chamber still to go. You continue, you move, you hear it again. There's another dive, and this time there's like a kind of screech that just fills the whole area before it kind of dies down. Shade appears that she's in like full focus. Now's the time to think. She's not worried. She's not anything. She was born for this type of thing. She was trained for this type of thing. She's moving. She's also not waiting for any of you.
No.
If she needs to intervene, she will, but she moves a little faster than all of you, so you see her start to pull out in front quite a bit. He has big old legs. And there's a moment... Actually, I have to roll for Shade. Trash. Okay, so there's a moment where you are running and you see Shade in front of you. You hear...
But did you add that plus 10?
Doesn't matter.
Yikes.
She rolled 2. So where something appears, something very large with an extremely wide wingspan, bones protruding under feathers, and sinew stretched thin, and musculature attached to like necks and beaks that appears to just swoop down like this massive vulture. But it's not a vulture. It's got this beak that is in the shape of what looks like a battle axe, and then has this really wide wing, and half of it is missing as it kind of like turns and tries to grasp Shade. You see half of its face is just like gone. There's no eyeballs in the socket or anything. The other still has this like rotten white eyeball in the socket. But that's not all you see, because as it turns, you see that there's another like neck and head that comes out of this thing that looks as though it's been like attached to this, that is this large like desert serpent. Like we're talking like 3 times the size of an anaconda that appears to be wrapped around the body of this thing, but also melded and grafted into the body of this thing. So at first this thing swoops down to Shade, grabs its claw under her armor, and begins to lift her for a moment before she like swings her scythe and causes it to let go, and she drops about 5 feet. And then as it's flying away, there's like a grappling hook, this thing that was coiled, this kind of anaconda snake-like thing that's coiled around her, shoots back at her and lashes its fangs into her shoulder, and she goes, "Ugh!" and just yanks her up into the air beyond where your torchlight can reach her. I believe the only person now that can see her is you, Log, because you have 120 feet of vision, as she's being like kited up into the area with the thing attached. This snake anaconda like dug into her shoulder.
Both Log and I can see her because I'm warging.
Yeah, that's what's happening. This should probably be a little bit more intense than that.
I don't think you should be up there. Vortex warp her down.
You vortex warp her down. She's familiar with stuff like this. I think she's gonna just auto fail this. She's gonna willingly fail this for you. Yeah. So you just throw her down.
Yeah, everything's fine for Event Horizon.
Cool. So you want to put her right next to you, or where she was before?
Where she was before, I think.
Up ahead or with the group?
No, with the party.
Okay, with the group. You got it. You put her with the group and everything, and she like turns around and she kind of like raises an eyebrow that you can see under the blindfold.
And I just point like, go.
I'm gonna thaumaturgy some noise out to the side of us.
Okay, cool. You thaumaturge some noise out on the other side. You do hear like a and another what appears to be headed towards that noise as you guys. Are you in full sprint now, or are you trying to be quiet?
Just
Same. Keeping that stealth.
Yeah? Is that everybody?
I grabbed the torch away from the mage hand and dismiss the mage hand, so I'm not having to work on that every time.
Sure. Yeah, you just grab the
So-
torch.
Well,
Cool.
it takes my
quick
action.
question: was it
Sure.
120 feet or 90 feet? That, or like,
It was like normally people can only six. You was close enough for vortex warp. It was like around 90-ish feet. Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
just
So it's just because nobody can see farther than that except for Log and Shikard. So yeah, because
Okay.
everyone else's drops down at 60.
yeah. Okay.
So yeah, you continue to move. You definitely do get a moment, like a turn or so more, because this thing appears to be going towards where this sound is. You're getting the sense that it's probably responding to sound and not sight. Like this, it didn't have any eyes. I mean, granted, magic and undead are weird as far as seeing, but yeah, it appears to be responding to sound. And she, although she's very, very quiet and she's an assassin, was large and making very, very big footsteps and just like disturbing the air around her more than literally anybody else here. So like that subtle, you know how like flies have like little hairs on their body to feel the subtle vibrations in just the air when the air stuff's moving. She moves more air because she moves through it more, and so like it seemed to have gone after her. Are you guys just booking it? You're just still trying to be quiet.
I would say our like normal movement with the stealth rolls we had before.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So roll another stealth roll. Everybody roll stealth again if we're still going there. You guys are like about maybe 2/3 throughout the chamber now, if you consider the ziggurat as like the center of this chamber.
Yikes! It is a concentration.
It is her passing out a trace.
Yeah.
She didn't take any damage. She was just grappled.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, the fangs went into her, but she rolled because she has evasion. She doesn't take a damage from it, but she still suffered because it still hit. She still suffered the fact that the fangs got under the armor and took her away.
Okay.
Yeah. So stealth rolls. What do we got? Wur and Zemdak.
Zemdak got a 28. Wur got a 24.
Okay.
Moonchild got a 22.
27 for Shakar, 16 for Trisheni.
Ooh, 16.
27.
27.
I forgot to.
Add the 10.
No, I forgot to really secure the abacus, so it's making click, 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 and I still get a 17 on the.
It's going back. All of you guys hear the sound of the tambourine abacus as it's back and forth. Who got the other 16 or 17?
I got a
As
17.
Trinch, you're like, stop it! Like, stop it! As you turn around. So both of you continue to make sounds. You hear like a hard bank from the wings and the wind as this starts to get closer.
I'm gonna throw some more sound.
You gonna throw some more sound? Cool. Shit, yeah. Falls for it. Spears. You see something soar right above you and go past you. For all intents and purposes, if you guys keep doing this and you guys are really doing really good on your stealth in the past without trace, there's no way this thing's gonna be able to get to you like it did before. She rolled absolute trash. She got like a 2 and it had to get her. But you are able to get to the end where the corridors start to narrow again, and do you guys want to go? Do you want to continue in the exact direction you were going, or are you trying to go to a different direction?
I don't want to stay in this chamber any longer.
Yeah.
So the first
So
exit,
Zemdak
There may
would
be
run.
many exits to this
he,
chamber.
he would run for the first tunnel that he sees.
If you guys are going the way the crow flies, you'll find like
Yeah.
an exit.
Are
Yeah.
you guys splitting the party with these tunnels?
No. No.
Okay, cool. So you guys head into
After
another,
everything that happened,
like
no.
10 by 10 corridor that continues, and you just hear the echoes
Even
of
if
her-
Shade can range ahead of us, like I can't run faster than these guys. So
she'll like be at the door of what it is with like her scythe above and just ready to like slice anything as she just holds, because she's just so much taller than literally everybody else in the group. Even Log, she's just a monster, and she kind of leans over like a giant over the exit and then uses her cape and her like tunic tail to just kind of behind you to try to kick up some dust and some stone to close the exit a little bit more, as you hear just the echoes like from behind you as you continue down the corridor, which is another 10 by 10 here. Hi, buddy.
cool.
And you guys continue.
Yep.
Are you guys trying to push like until you find something, or are you trying to get to the point where you're like, I kind of feel tired, I could take a nap, and I'm going to go to sleep now?
Well, Log
Waiting for a ping.
has Log's dream connection.
That's a very good point.
I've just been waiting on that.
I'm waiting for a dream ping.
You have to be fucking shitting me. You're still aware while somebody's carrying you, right? And then are you made aware when they're dreaming, or do you just automatically enter the dream?
I mean, it's the way it says is that if they're awake when I cast it, I know that, and I can either end the spell or I can just wait until they fall asleep.
Okay, so
That's
when
how
they
it-
fall asleep, you just enter the dream, and if you wanted to, you could exit it at any
Yeah.
time. So you do, like, you see Log go on top of Whir as you kind of to take a moment to catch your breath around a corner after you did it, and like you just take stock that make sure like, okay, 1, 2, 3, we're all here, and Log's just not here. He's checked out. Log, you are in what looks like a beautiful kind of like Bedouin harem, and
My kind of place.
of like many beautiful men, women, androgynous, non-binaries, like of all of and in different spectrums of scantily clad. You smell the beautiful smell of like incensed oils. You smell dates and pineapples and roasted coconut and all these things. And it's wonderful. You get this feeling of like, oh, I would love just like a glass of wine and just to lay down on all these sea of pillows. It's just, and as far as the eye can see, just a sea of pillows. There's no walls. Every once in a while, there's like a pillar and stuff for people to lean on, but there's just so many. And it's got this kind of orange light in the area.
Of course, the religious zealot has.
Yeah.
That's about
we're never gonna get Lug to wake up now.
Lug.
So I'm gonna make myself look like one of the people that we.
Yeah, you want to
one of
make
the
yourself look like
volunteers.
one of the concubines or
No,
whatever?
one of the volunteers.
One of the volunteers.
Yeah,
Volunteers.
one of the volunteers that we got before.
Oh, one of the other ascendants.
One of my meals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, one of your meals. You're sure. Dressed in the same way or dressed scantily?
So where I would blend in with.
Yeah, like you
group.
took off your traveling robe, and you're like at home, and so you're not like hot and like bothered and that type of thing. Cool. Yeah, you walk in. Eventually, you do like turn a corner, and you do spot kind of lounging on like a love seat, being fed grapes and dates. Is what you would assume is Bondant Belias. It does look to be
The center figure of.
yes, definitely the focal point of the painting of your vision, to be sure. It does look to be a male Kenran of sorts.
Maitan?
I'm sorry, yes, a male Maitan. Wow. Oh, good job, TJ. It does appear to be a male Maitan of sorts. It does look like a painted Maitan, like a painted horse.
Oh, cool.
Like not full like jet black, but kind of like with some
Like a
browns
harlequin,
and-
kind of.
Kind of, yeah. Like,
Great Dane,
It's
you
like,
know?
like how like the cow kind of painted horse
Yeah.
type of feel, yeah.
You found a cow.
Dalmatian.
Yes, but like rather than black and
Oh,
white, it's like
okay.
brown and like this type of like sandy cream.
So I will approach him.
Completely doesn't like. There's so many other of them. They're in their dreamscape, so they don't really notice you.
So I will kind of one by one, using my dream stuff, just make poof, 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 poof.
And like they have their eyes closed and about to be fed grapes, and the person that's feeding them grapes just drops, and the whole grape bunches go on their face, and they're like, "Oh, I thought I."
We've been looking for you, everywhere. What's happening? What's going on?
Hey!
But seriously, what's going on?
Hey, sit down. We should have some grapes and some dates.
Yes, there are many grapes, many dates. Where have you been? What are you doing?
You know the
Where
you need to
is
sit
the-
in this type of position where you only have one hip popped out and you are relaxed before we can talk business. You understand? Come on, my dream, my rules.
It's actually my rules, but we'll play along for a minute.
Oh, okay. Is this a new kink?
Sure, yeah. But yeah, where's the vision of truth?
You see their face like sink and go stoic, and see like a whole area just rather than it being this like orange kind of nice daylight, just goes to a like a midnight blood moon type of lighting, and their eyebrows level, and they just speak in a monotone of the vision is leveled and we can see what is unseen. We will wish we hadn't. So why not just? And then as soon as they like break that persona, the light comes out, and like three other individuals pop up as like they're very forceful with their dream here. You can absolutely dismiss as many you want because that's as is your power. But they're like really invested in this dream. It feels like they're trying to escape something, like they're in a happy place.
So yeah, I'm going to dismiss it all, and I'm going to show them all the people
Dismiss
who are
all of it.
Well, yeah, and I'm going to show them all the people lined up in chains and his people.
Of the Ascendants.
Yes, that
that
we
he
had
ate.
captured.
The other
like,
5.
like like bound and gagged. Like,
We need you. Where are you?
Cool. Okay, go ahead and roll a persuasion check at advantage.
Yay.
Go long, go.
persuasion.
Charisma.
What is it? Oh no, that's Moonchild. It's going to be plus 0. What the hell?
Underneath performance, but above religion.
So 18.
You just see them like again level the. No, not again. You can't find me here. I'm safe here.
Where are you?
In my room. With my blanket and my pillow. In my room.
You're in the catacombs. Where in the catacombs are you?
Show me again. I cannot see it again. It is when they look into you. What they show you.
Who showed you?
Both of them. Abysses of sapphire and emerald. Don't look.
Is that
Run.
Is that the vision? Are you talking about the vision of truth?
It is more than a vision. It is everything.
Where is it?
Everywhere. Always. It was then, it will be, it is now. No. I won't. It was foolhardy for them to try. No. and they like appear to like dissociate for a moment as they try to like pick up what looks to be like a date from a pillow. It seems to be disintegrating as they pick up date and try to shove it in the mouth before it turns to dust, as your oppressiveness has like changed the area, and they're like trying to feed themselves and distract themselves from what was and what is.
I'll create a bowl of grapes in my hand.
I will give you everything you want.
They just rush at you and try.
No, I'm keeping them away.
Oh, okay.
I'm
You control everything, so they
yeah.
can't really like not do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will give you what you want, but you need to tell me where you are.
Okay, cool. So here's what's happening. We are dangerously approaching the nightmare territory. So I want you to do. What do they get to roll? Because you're like tormenting them now.
It's a wisdom save. I believe. Let me double check.
I believe you did.
They appear to be like starving and and like dying of thirst, and you're holding them from them. That's nightmare territory.
So yeah, wisdom save.
Okay. That is a 17 total.
That'll beat it.
Okay, so they're like, rather than being like an opposed athletics, I think they probably like knock the bowl out of your hands while you're trying to keep it from them, and it spills on the ground, and they try to get as many grapes into their mouth as possible before like the rest kind of deteriorate away, and they appear to be like, forgive me, I didn't know. It was, you don't understand what it feels like to have a thirst that is unquenchable, a hunger that continues.
A thirst. Like,
You don't know, and they try to like grab you by the cloak. You don't know, and they try to like, and then there's like a moment where they're just look at you, and their jaw seems to like unhinge as they like go to like bite your cheek.
I just teleport myself away.
Oh, you like okay? You pop because you can control the whole thing. And like there was this kind of gaunt face on them, of like where like stretched skin and muscular. That was a moment of kind of like the 16th of a second face of terror and shining, kind of, and before you teleport away, and they're like, "Forgive me."
I'm going to show them, like I was showing the bound ascendants before. I'm going to show them Zemdak feeding on his people.
we need you.
You hear Zemdak choking in the background. Like, do I swallow or? Like...
I know the thirst you speak of. We need you. Where are you?
What did you get on that persuasion check?
The persuasion was 18.
18.
before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and. Are you trying to be domineering or are you pleading?
Like I'm showing him, like, this is what's happening to your people.
Okay, go
like,
ahead and
you're-
roll another persuasion check then.
Still at advantage?
Not this time.
So that's only going to be a 12 that time.
A 12. You appear like you see their eyes darting before like the start of their face begins to like almost like they had a stroke, and it just begins to kind of like get low and droop for a bit, and it like continues to drip like Dolly's melting clocks, like flesh off of their skin and off of their musculature and off of their bone. They look satisfied. They look like they can drink and they could feel what it is to be full. You're still disguised as one of them.
Mm-hmm.
My friend, you know what it means. You know what sacrifice means. Would you not sacrifice yourself for the cause, for your fellow brethren?
First, you have to tell me where you are.
Pillars of old surround me. No door, no only walls falling through. I don't remember falling through something. Colors. Flashes. And gold. Forms of fabric and beauty and old walls that walked, and a resting place. Promises. And like as he's saying this, the whole like very Matrix style when he says like guns, we need guns, and the whole like out of from the horizon distance, a bunch of guns like whiz past them, and they end up in a hallway of guns. Same thing happens. That whole scene kind of whizzes past you, and you see what they're describing. The pillars shimmer. It starts with ruins of these old Parisian ruins, and then very mummy style begin to be hit with like a wave of prestidigitation and new, and it grows gold, like in the golden orange light of torchlight in the area, and looks as though it was in its heyday as the wave and the ripple spreads throughout the area, and you're painted this beautiful, like absolutely pristine, exact picture of what this area looks like. You look around, no doors, no windows, completely contained chamber. There appears to be a sarcophagus in the distance, flanked. There's a hallway that goes down the middle, flanked by 3 large pillars. And the walls appear to have been like inset with some figures and beautiful hieroglyphs of these now painted. All of it. The pillars have hieroglyphs. The walls have hieroglyphs on it. They're all painted with this like blues and golds and like very striking colors, like they were in their heyday. And there's the sarcophagus in the distance is like shifts ever so slightly. As you hear this version of them as like flesh is falling off of them, and they're just going and just like kind of grapple. And as you're kind of distracted by this area, you don't realize how close they've gotten, and they start to like grab onto your knee and ankle.
We are coming for. We will be there soon.
And then I will.
One can only hope.
No, so I teleport away again, and I manifest.
You're like nope.
I manifest just some kind of beautiful Maitan person dressed the way that when I first walked in everyone was dressed, who comes and like offers themselves.
Cool. You teleport away,
them.
and they're like still on the ground. It looks like one of their legs is like all like dismembered and like gone, and the fabric yields to flesh, which yields to muscle, which yields to bone, like gradually a gradation. And they stand there, and again that gaunt figure changes back, snaps back to that kind of beautiful way it was. And the leg is back, and as it like turns to kneel, and as this beautiful individual goes wow 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 to this dude that's there, and he grasp her and embrace for a moment before then in a split second the whole Bilbo Baggins give it to me type of gaunt demonic kind of face goes on and just and begins to tear flesh from bone. No screams because that's not what you told it to do. It just continues dancing as it becomes eviscerated and torn apart. What was that you said or asked from them in that moment? Sorry, I got lost in my cinematography.
Well, no, I said that we were coming for.
Okay,
them.
cool. Are you exiting or are you staying here? You want to watch this?
No, I feel like I got the relative information I needed and
okay, and you you awaken so violently that you, as were as like against the wall, you kind of like hit your head on the ceiling and the wall at the same time. You're like, ow, but you're okay, like no damage. But that's when you come back, and this happened because of how dreams are. Like a lot of stuff happens in such a short span of time, and sometimes it's the other way around. Log appears to be only like that for a couple of seconds, maybe a minute tops. What's up?
Finish.
That's it. And Log wakes up, and you saw what you saw.
Share.
Yeah, he's in some fucking room that doesn't have an actual like entrance. It's like just a sealed.
You like vividly
thing.
know the description of the room now, like vividly, like you're extremely familiar
So I'll
with the area.
give as much detail as I can about all of that.
Okay.
You said he fell down?
Yeah, he wasn't making a whole lot of sense before. I think he's got whatever the fuck Boots has.
Okay. So that's good.
Anybody else hungry?
Do you describe
Gross.
like what he showed you?
Yeah.
Like the room that he showed
It's
you?
like just to save time as far as real time. I think because it just happened and it was so vivid, there's probably nothing that you would be able to leave out. I think like you, as far as my description, you'd probably get the gist of what happened. Yeah.
You cast exposition.
Right.
Would Anki be able to help out in this situation?
In what way?
He witnessed someone else go into that space. He rode along as someone else went there.
The spores
I
that
don't know how-
would have the spores
I don't know
that
how
would have
time
him
works.
the spores that would have been him at some point in time were present within an individual that were in that space,
Mm-hmm.
but were not at that time a conscious collective consciousness just quite yet.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
So like the spores of that were probably within that person,
Yep.
but the existence of them as a collective consciousness has yet to evolve to the point where that was a thing.
It's also spatially disconnected.
Yeah, and very spatially disconnected. Like, although the mycelial connection it like transcends space and time and well,
Hi.
space at the very least.
Just didn't know if I could.
Fisher.
Moonchild's giving love.
Oh, Moonchild's like, you okay? You okay, baby? Oh.
She's hungry
like,
too.
everybody good?
Yeah.
So, we're looking for a way into a room that doesn't have any doors.
Yeah.
Just a pit.
That's not that hard.
Granted, ooh, that's a very good point. At one point, those spores did become conscious, and that body still had them within them, and but was still contained, and wasn't aware of anything else other than what they were in.
It was just a question.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it could help us out at all, but
I
it can't.
What
I get-
Zemdak's connected to Anki, right?
Yep.
Why don't you? Would there be any reason for them to bring it up?
if he's describing something that happened to
Correct.
another
Okay, cool.
another infected,
I'm gonna roll for Anki.
another carrier, right? Like, would
Yeah.
he say, "Hey, oh, you guys
Good point. Good point.
need
good
to do
point.
this"?
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. That was cocked, so let's try that again.
Too early.
Nothing that's probably brought up just quite yet. Yeah.
Cool. Never mind then.
Yeah.
Those
so you-
ascended her into some freaky shit. I kind of liked it.
Meckel, as they're trying to, after he hears the description, I'll reach out and see if I sense anything. Like
In what way?
the same way I always have.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
To doctor? Or
No, to in general, see if I get the same way I sensed.
like psychically.
Yeah.
That's pretty limited in this range, right?
I have no clue.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
Yep.
I just do it.
You know that feeling? It might just be me. So, but hopefully, you know that feeling when you're like in the passenger seat, or at least when you were a kid, when you were in a car, and it's moving so fast that you see, like, if you wanted to, you could follow a spot in the distance, like a bush that you're passing, and it wouldn't be blurred because your vision would be focused on it. But if you just kind of picked a spot and continued looking, everything would be blurred as it passed by you. And sometimes you imagine like a dude jumping over the fences and like scaling the trees or doing everything, or like imagine your hand being like a pair of scissors or like a knife that would like cut down grass or like do whatever, like just that type of like imagery. You get the sense when you like kind of like try to reach out that something is moving. Something's moving, something that you're able to pick up on, something that registers to you, whether it be psychically, dimensionally, doesn't matter, like some type of oddity in the air is moving. Whether that means it's moving in space, time, whatever, in the mind space, you don't know, but something is moving. It's like follow the bouncing ball, but all you can see is this painted kind of like dust trail bouncing ball that's in your mind's eye, and it's very faint, and it's kind of moves out and then comes back in and then moves out and comes back in.
Okay.
Kind of like it's hopping from one place to another.
Let me see.
I was so glad someone said yes as to know what I was talking about. I wasn't just the weirdo that was imagining shit outside of my window.
Nope. I will mention that to Argus and try to describe using some of his memories about like, snakes on like sand dunes and stuff like that to try to mimic the impression of that for the creature moving?
You do sense a direction, I will say.
Oh, I do.
You do sense a direction from this. It does seem to be, it kind of like pops in and out of your perception. It just goes
Okay.
flutters, but you do sense a direction that appears to be really, kind of like, when in X-Men where they had the Cerebro and they were trying to relocate Nightcrawler and they saw him like flitting around the map and realizing, oh, he's a teleporter. That's why he's like moving so fast and we could only see him every so often. That's kind of what it feels like.
So I can kind of sense something around the same way I kind of sensed, and I'll point at Shade. Something is moving, and I'll kind of like point in the general direction where I think it's.
It appears to be in like from where you are, northwesterly direction. You were headed in southwest. It's almost like it's headed northwest-ish. But it kinds to be like going in an arc, like it's going from northwest to like due north.
Okay, so it's moving. It feels like it's moving that way. And I'll just point with the feeling as opposed to north, east, south, and west because I can't tell.
Do you have a sense of distance or just direction?
It doesn't matter. As Shade grabs you, and just kind of like holds you on your on her side, like she's carrying you like a duffel bag, and just runs in that direction.
Okay, I guess we're going now.
All right, here we go.
I'm already holding the.
We've already learned what happens when we stay still. We have to keep moving.
Yep. That's fair.
And I'll just
Right.
kind of direct. I'll keep the sense out since I don't have to control my own movements, and just kind of like direct her if there's like an interchange or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you go ahead and roll me a survival check at advantage while you're doing so. Log, is there anything you wanted to share while we're doing this?
Well, I already shared everything.
You do so.
Thank God for
If
it.
you're no
You all,
longer.
like, I will say,
incapacitated,
like,
you could also
given all this type of thing, you have such a vivid description of what you occurred and everything. You become like familiar with the space. Like divination magic on the space would be like easier for you to do because you're familiar with the space.
23 on perception.
23 survival.
Oh,
is what I said.
survival. That's less. 16.
16.
Yeah.
You're just like, that way, I think. And she just kind of jostles you. You're like, yeah, that way, yeah, sure. So you go that way, and I think you're probably unsure. There's some hesitation as you point her one way, and she just kind of like picks you up and holds you on the shoulders, and just looks at you with. She's in her blindfold, but you can feel her gaze on you. Are you sure?
Can I? Since we were trying to like.
Yeah, you're just trying to
plot our
keep up
Can
at
I
this point.
help?
Yeah.
Okay.
Meckel's really like the only one that seems to be having something. Here,
No, but
sure.
like as he points, can I be like, well, that direction curves back around, like.
As far as like cardinally and understanding like your geographic location,
Sure.
sure.
Yeah.
If you want to give Meckel advantage, that's fine.
Yeah, that was more what I was.
Sure, yeah.
Well, it doesn't make a sense for
Well,
us to be
if I have to
going
do it
down
again,
because
then
that place was probably closer to the torrent, therefore it was probably flooded, so it doesn't make sense.
My
for us
understanding
To
of tunnels helps
Yeah.
me to sort of understand.
I will be pointing in the direction of the critter, not necessarily all of the tunnels.
Right.
Sure.
So I'm just keeping.
go where the crow flies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it. Sure.
And so I'm sort
why
of
don't you-
helping pick
You got it with the.
tunnels.
So go ahead and roll with. Just roll another dice and take the higher of the two that you rolled.
I
because it's-
rolled advantage before.
Oh, you did.
I thought you said to roll advantage because
You did. Do it
Never
again
mind.
now because we're like you
fine.
guys are moving fast.
Okay.
Like this isn't just like one turn and we made it there.
I
or
got
like
a nat 20.
There we go.
So 21.
Okay, cool. So you guys end up. You can keep posting there. At one point, as you say, you just kind of keep your finger, and you kind of are just focusing and keep your finger trying to point in the right direction. As Shade is now just because like keep up. I'm used to this. You're not. It's a wonder to me how you ever made it this far.
She's holding me, and I'm not even running.
She's not talking to you. She's
me.
talking to these
Oh,
folks.
okay.
She's like saying it's a wonder that Vlad even sees you as even slight as a threat because like you guys staying around talking the whole fucking time all the time is pretty much what she's talking about. Like you're so inactive. Like go
Exposition
move.
is
Let's
your
go.
guys'
We
favorite
killed their
spell.
Yeah.
sisters, so She knows we're not completely.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. She's like focused on getting the thing done because if she's left idle, like the devil has idle hands and everything, she will fall into that thing of like starting to hate you
There
guys
has to
again.
be
So she knows she
some
can't be
respect
idle.
for
Yeah.
our ability to kill things.
Yeah.
Like, but you need to be brought to the thing.
Yeah.
Like you are the horse that needs to be brought to the water.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Let's go!" Like we just saw what happens when we don't fucking move, and I almost got
We're
carried
lost
away.
children
Thank
with
you,
knives.
but fucking move. Let's go.
At
and
some
just-
point, I will actually put the torch out, leading the way.
And she's moving so fast that it's just like it's barely holding on to the torch. You see, because when flame is attached to something, you see like there's like that good like centimeter of space that's just doesn't have because the
It's like moving your lighter fast, and it's like
the vapor is
no lighter.
invisible, and so like the flame is actually barely attached to the thing. It's just and there's a lot of wind resistance from it, so it's barely staying alight, and all that's giving
Which
off
is probably good if I switch position like
yeah,
that.
and but it's barely giving off that blue light because it's moving so fast. So it's barely giving off any light at all. It's only ambient light. It's kind of like glow sticks. It only ever gives like the light of the thing and not like glancing off of it.
And
And
just
I
to-
haven't secured the I almost said succubus, the abacus. So it's like
That's very different.
Everything she turns, it go,
Yeah.
yeah. Cool. So you guys are keeping up.
And just to make sure I understand what you're doing, this is from you and your connection to your siblings. Is that right? Just your siblings? What are other things?
I don't know.
You have to move your arms. She's, God damn it.
The thought gets interrupted as you feel what you and your sister constantly feel. You feel that tug through the like your sternum, and you feel like it's being pulled. And
There's
it's going in the direction it's getting stronger. It's getting closer.
there's a well guys, something. I feel the tug.
So how far back am I?
I
They
would
left you behind like when they started running, dude. You can sprint.
I would turn around. I would come try to pick you up and like.
Zemdek and Argus are like,
Well, what are you?
oh
guys-
no, I'm sorry. Zemdek doesn't pant, so he's just.
I would come
the
back
one
and try
panting.
to like
But
help
my
you.
stubby little legs are still
trying.
like
Yeah.
moving as fast as possible.
Yeah, you guys are like far back enough where you no longer have pass without a trace, so you just are like really loud, like trying to keep up, like hopefully seeing the light of the torch of the small torch and everything. At one point you like lose it, but like right as you lose it, you're like, oh shit, is it right or left? And you look at Zemdak and he looks at you.
Well,
And you hear it from the tunnel. as she
where are you?
turns.
What are you guys?
Well, you can keep up.
No,
They-
I said I turned back to get these guys.
Okay, you like where are you guys? You sent it
I to shade because then I would have come back to
We don't
You said
know.
to shade?
Right or left?
We're there.
right or left.
We're there.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's like you realize like you turn the next corner and they're right there. Like right
Okay.
when you lose sight of them, they like arrived.
Oh.
All right.
And so like you're able to keep up, but like there was this moment of panic. We're like, where the fuck? Okay, jeez, thank goodness. You guys, and so like Zemdak is walking up because he doesn't have to breathe, so he doesn't have to pant. While Argus, cling clang, cling clang.
And then gets into the field and
Yeah. I think Whir does that a little overheating while holding log. Still doesn't have to hold you.
And I would have hopped down after the dream.
War wasn't commanded to put you down, so has not put you down. So it's just like,
You try to leap off, and he just grabs a leg.
no, I did say
Yeah.
I.
oh, you did tell him?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I thought that would be funny. But yeah, sure. You're just keeping pace with War, and there's just like as the heat sinks kind of kick in as once it gets to a certain point, you find yourself at a chamber. What looks like the left entrance to a chamber that appears to have two other entrances. There is a flat space before is met by a bunch of like flatter, kind of like not very high stairs that have more of a platform to them that go up a couple feet, about like 4 feet or so, before becoming flat like a dais again. Some small pillars flank them. And from the distance, as you realize immediately why Shade stopped, because and she's like shh, 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 and she's like quiet to everybody, and then the like Whir is there, and like there's this moment of silence before Whir's like shh, because they didn't really have a choice. They had to like do the heat sink thing. They couldn't not make the noise.
Yep.
And you just from the darkness and beyond. Log, you can see. Dark vision people, Zemdak, Log, yeah, not too far. Zemdak, Log, Trisheni can see what looks like 4 human corpses that are arranged between zombies and skeletons, adorned in the tatters of like Maresian, like those types of guard cloth things that go to the shoulders that have like that gold and everything. But again, it's so ancient and so aged and so in tatters that appear to be above near the dais, near a giant stone double door that has massive amounts of hieroglyphs just embedded throughout the entire door. And there's just 4 of them there. And she was like, shh, quiet. But of course, unfortunately, whirls like, shh, and you did hear like some type of snarl. And only the ones with dark vision can see these things.
Do I still
as they
sense
appear to be all 4 of them kind of jump what like, appear to be in some sort of like vertical direction, and like you're unable to see where they went.
Do I still get a sense of the thing I was following? Did it stop in this room, or does it continue on?
It seemed to be like spirally falling beyond these doors.
Okay.
Like falling in a like a forward direction.
Okay. I will keep my torch pointed out that way.
I'm gonna go right next to Whir
Make a very good
and
pointer.
keep an eye.
Oh, the torch is now straight up.
Okay, you're gonna go right next to Warren. Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Do like back to back with my giant construct.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like
Sure, you
English
got
pointer,
it.
like the dog.
What everybody else is doing, because you
the
realize
flame
like
is-
now
No, but
Dirty 20.
those who have dark vision spotted these for the split second before a noise was made, and then they like flitted into like stealth mode, probably in the ceiling somewhere or whatever, the vaulted pillar area. Dirty 20. You were able to see some movement from 2 areas among the pillars. What about you?
Well, so I'm going to telepath to. Wait, who doesn't have dark vision?
Meckle.
Yeah, but
Am I the only one that
he
doesn't-
doesn't react
Only
to
because I'm
telepathing very
working
well.
always.
So
Oh.
She has
Technically, in
dim
combat,
vision,
like
right?
Trisheni won't, but in like in non-combat,
in the role play section, yeah.
Okay, so it would be just me.
but you don't react well to telepathing, so I'm just
You're probably right.
No,
yeah.
he does not.
so I will not do what I was going to do and just keep an eye out.
You can roll a perception check if you want. You can roll perception with a Shakar if you want at advantage because of what he does. What do you want to do?
I want to find them. I want to look around.
Yeah, you can roll perception as well.
Damn.
I think he's a
I got a 15.
You're not good at perception,
15,
right?
okay.
22, I think.
22.
22.
22. So you see 2 of them. You
I'm
see
not trained in it.
That's what I mean.
among
Nice.
the
That's what I
3
mean.
of you, you're able to see
That means
all
that's
4
why you
of
should
them.
do well at it.
You just don't know which ones the other ones can see. Like
Right.
among the 3 of you who rolled really well, you can see all 4 of them, like kind of hidden and like clinging into, and like hands, like their fingers have been like gnawed and sharpened, so they can like cling into the top of the ceiling. These appear to be like corpses and skeletons of humans, however, not Maitan.
Can I attack?
If you want to, if that's what you want to do right now, you can see all 4 of them among the 3 of them. Log,
away?
you see like one, and that appears to be one that it's like pulling out a kopesh that's holding backwards and looks like it's about to like just leap and launch itself right at what looks to be the weakest or most prey member of the thing, which is one of the smallest ones, which is Zemdak.
Could I?
So you think?
I was going to say, I know what he can do, so I'm not that worried.
Or the wizard.
Oh, actually,
Could I
that's
cast-
a really good point. He's undead. Completely fucking ignores him.
Yeah.
Is headed to the next smallest
That'd be
thing, which would be Meckel.
But
No,
I'm in the
Argus is
arms
smaller.
of.
Argus
Shade.
is smaller.
Shade is holding.
Oh,
him.
Shade is holding him.
So
Yeah.
Argus is the smallest.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to be like super accurate.
I'm smaller than Meckle.
I'm just saying.
You're covered in armor.
It's true.
I would.
Yeah, Meckel's not covered in armor.
Really, they're
But
going to
I'm-
ignore the wizard.
Yeah, I mean,
So then, because if he's in her arms, I
you're
am.
also armed. Meckel's not currently armed.
I have a torch.
What,
That also
whatever,
makes you a target.
Yeah.
whatever it is, I'll cast haste on Zemdak, just whispering
How
the.
far away?
The ceiling is no more than like 30, 40 feet up.
That's an extra attack action, like a whole action, or is it just one extra attack?
One extra I'll double
one
check.
extra
but
action that can
action.
only be used as the attack.
No,
one
can
weapon
take
attack.
the attack, dash, disengage, hide, or use an object action.
Yes.
Plus, you get a +2 AC.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah, you're right.
but if
Yes.
I already have extra attack. I only get a third attack as my action.
Yes, correct. You don't get another action that you then could use
It's not
2 more
4,
attacks.
it's just 3.
No. Yeah.
But then your speed is doubled, and you get.
It's not like action surge.
Cool.
You cast haste on them. This thing appears to be going. Okay, so who's doing attacks? Because like I don't want to do this into combat. I want to like do. Blah, 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 blah. So who's doing what?
I'm attacking.
With what?
Quick draw, pistol, pop, pop.
Okay, the one that's coming after Meckel.
The closest one to, like,
That
I
would
noticed,
be the-
I saw 2 of them.
That's the closest one.
Okay,
The one that's
so
like,
yeah.
about to leap towards Meckel.
Yep.
It launches out, and in midair, you're gonna try to shoot it. Sure. What are you doing?
I'm just watching.
Okay.
Damn.
I would go back to back with Argus, and I casted haste on
So
Samdak.
we fought the mummies in the catacombs
Mm-hmm.
under Careening. So I'm assuming we sort of understand.
These don't look mummified.
Okay.
But they look.
They just look up zombie, like
They just look
undead-ish.
zombie skeletal.
Okay.
Well, so real quick, did I only see that one, or did I see all the other ones?
You saw the one that was, and the reason why you saw it is because it leaped off and is now like in midair.
But I'm not aware of the other ones.
You
is what
know
I'm
that they're
asking.
up there, but you don't know exactly. You don't see them.
Okay. So yeah, so I'm just gonna watch.
So
Okay.
One other thing, I go back to back, but start dancing too.
Okay.
in haste.
I will
Everything.
when that
My milkshake. Go ahead.
when that. No, continue. I'd like to
about
hear
what your
more
milkshake
about the
does.
milkshake now. When it gets within
I was gonna Sacred Flame.
5 feet of me, I'm going to broken charge on it.
Okay. Cool.
So basically, I just grab it and I do psychic damage, but I also can send it in any direction I want for the remainder of its movement.
Fun. Cool. As you just like kind of redirect its momentum.
Yep.
What do you do? Sacred
Sacred
Flame.
Flame.
Okay. So deck save. Fail.
It's a
What did you
whiz-
get for your attack?
I didn't attack, like,
You shot.
Yeah.
yeah. Do I get all 3 attacks? Do
Yeah.
I get my haste attack?
Yeah,
I hasted
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I want burning smite. The
That's
gun.
fine. That's
Okay,
fine.
Cool.
Yeah. Like yeah.
What did you get?
Do the
Did
thing.
you
I just need
say?
to know if it hits or not.
Does a fuck. Too many things going on. Does a 14 hit?
14 does not hit.
Does a 17 hit?
17 does hit.
Okay, so 2 hits.
2 hits. Okay. You tell me how much damage, and
Okay.
you tell me
6 radiant damage.
6 radiant. Ooh, 6 radiant damage. Okay. So
That's why I used that one.
+10. That's awesome.
does it take any damage from that? Or
Yeah,
no?
it will.
Does
Well,
it need to roll save?
yeah, it's a wisdom save, and the damage is psychic.
That's a failure. No way it got it.
7 points of damage,
7?
psychic damage,
Okay,
and
cool,
I
so-
direct it into a wall.
7 and 6. Cool. You the closest thing rather than a well. You,
Well, it moves as far as it can in
sure.
a
You can
direction
either
away
throw
from
it in the
me.
wall that's like right next to you, or throw it in the pillar that's like right in front of you.
Well,
So 12
I'm gonna.
plus 10.
Is it like? Do I have a space
It's coming
in front
down
of me?
from you from the ceiling.
Right. So I'm going to direct it away from me, away from the group.
If this is the like, there's an entrance here, there's an
Right.
entrance here, there's an entrance here to the chamber. You came in here. There's pillars here. There's a stairwell that goes up there that's this wide, and then it flattens out, and then there's 2 golden doors here.
Okay.
They're coming down from like what looks like the top of these 4 pillars, and the one that was closest to you is coming straight at you.
I'm going to direct it at the pillars.
Okay, so you just pop it right back
Or
at the
not
pillar.
the pillars. I'm sorry, the doors towards the up on the.
That's
platform.
way far away. That's like way. The golden
as far
doors.
as it can go. It goes that direction.
It doesn't have that much movement. Like unless you just want to like plop it on the top of there and it'll just.
No, I mean it just moves that direction for the remainder of its movement for this round.
It's in midair. Yeah. Okay.
That's
I
all
think
I'm saying.
even if so, if you point it in that direction, it'll hit like the second pillar that's on there and like hit it and, poof, and then fall down.
That's fine.
Cool. So yeah, we'll like roll. Shit. So we got 6, 7, 10 from the bludgeoning.
So the first attack that hits is 12 piercing plus 10 radiant.
Shit. So the first. So you shoot once. Miss. Reload real quick. Shoot one more time right before it gets to Meckel. You. have this the divine thing come down. You redirect it, smash it up against the pillar, and then it just collapses into a bunch of just shredded nothingness. And then you have your second attack.
So
you
my
see another one.
First hit
that thing's
would've-
gone.
First hit would have had the branding smite.
Yeah, that's why it's dead.
So it
So pretty much what happened is like you missed your first shot. The second shot you hit right
Yep.
before it got to Meckel. You
I get
did
it.
your divine thing. He redirected, and now it's gone.
second shot was only 8 damage, 8 magical piercing.
So you shoot one of the other ones that's coming up there. If it takes, it has to roll. Okay, so it doesn't save for that. You shoot it, and it falls from the top and falls to the ground.
Okay.
And it takes some damage as it falls. Now on like the top of the dais near the golden door. That one's taken some damage, and the other two are still up there as far as those that you can see.
Do these things have blood?
Doesn't look like it. They look like dried sand, ancient. Human.
Get a snack in. Well,
Just matters. Okay.
Human.
Do you want initiatives from us?
I don't think we're going to do combat here because they're like not trying to do combat. They're trying to be like quiet, stealth, done. They're guarding. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's like, for those of you that are not past the threshold of this door, they're not paying attention to you. So like you were past the threshold, Meckel and Pass was past the threshold, and so was Shade past the threshold. Nobody came after you or Log. Nobody came after any of them. But the two of them do try to come after you once more. So let's see. That's only one hit because I got a 1, a 2, and a 3, and then an 18. So
Is Whir up by us?
Yeah, I don't think Whir is like in the room quite yet. I think like the sound of it kind of alerted these to like pay attention to see who was in the room.
So
But they're like right inches before the threshold if you want them to be, because they were in the second of the order, and the two that were in front were Zemdak and Shade, and since Shade has Meckel, then there you guys are in front.
So the broken charge, I believe, is a reaction.
This would be if you still get your turn. So yeah, you want to do your turn.
Right. What I want to see is I want to. Yeah. So what I'm going to basically do is during my turn, I'm going to cast Blade Guard.
A Blade Ward, yeah, sure.
Blade Ward. So that just
It just gives you resistance, sure. Cool. This thing's gonna come at you. Are you gonna do the charge thing again, or no?
No, I'm doing Blade Ward.
Okay, cool. One of them does hit. You take 9 points of slashing damage.
And that's halved. So.
That is halved.
Okay.
And I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw.
All right. So what? 4 points then. So.
Yes.
All right. Constitution saving throw is a 14.
14. That's not enough.
And I do not I almost said rage. I do not tantrum.
Okay, you take 19 points of necrotic damage as this thing cuts into you, as your like flesh just decays from where it like slashed into you.
All right.
And you
Is
rot.
that an additional roll?
It's a
then?
part of the same attack.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 19.
Yeah.
All right.
This thing like rots you. That was all their attacks. It's now like the other
It lands
one of
to
them is
attack.
near the golden door that's still alive. That's got it kind of pushed away, and the other two are like right in front of you.
So I would attack like.
Sure, go ahead. Do your things.
Okay.
yeah, go ahead.
Because it's engaged with him, do I get advantage on the attacks?
It's not within 5 feet of them. It's just kind of in front of you. It like did the whole thing where it slashed, and then it has
As
that
it
whole
moved.
swashbuckler racket where it can these things appear to be extremely, although they're human like skeletons and zombies, super like mummy style, extremely
Yeah, yeah.
dexterous, like, super fast zombies. Very, very terrifying.
I would pull out the Kopesh because they're close range now. And,
Yeah, you want to run up?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead. Anybody who wants to do that, it's like your party's
can
turn.
go up and
Yeah, whatever you want.
I will tell Shade to aim me towards where I can get hopefully two of them in my cone of my shout. So she's holding me like a laser cat. And
She just like, I'm not holding you like a laser cat, and she just spins you and like puts you near a wall where the two of them are in your cone. But then that way she has both her hands free, so she can just scythe.
Okay, but that's what I'll do then.
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
hit
You got it.
with the cone.
Do these things take poison damage?
She's like, don't put your luck, and she just throws you over. No.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Undeads like this don't
I-
take poison damage. Yeah, absolutely not.
11 and 10, so 21.
What to hit?
Yeah.
11
No.
to hit?
To hit was 23
Shout.
and higher.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
This is
23,
my,
26.
11 and 10, cool.
Breath weapon.
So I
21
missed it because I was away. So
There's just
so
two. There's two now. One has been pushed near the golden door. One is dead. The other one is near the golden double doors, up on the dais, like up on the stairwell, up on the dais, far away. And two of them are like 15 feet away in front of you that have fallen, that tried to attack.
They
you.
did like a flyby.
Yeah, and then backflipped. Ninja style.
And I need con saves.
So I'll do 2 blasts to one of the ones that are just 15 feet away.
One save zone does not. Okay, cool.
Oh, okay.
What's the DC?
My DC's 13, so.
Yeah, one got a nat 1 and the other one got
All
a
right,
15.
so
There's no-
4 for the one that didn't save, and 2 for the one that.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And it's thunder damage, so everything's
Yeah.
sound.
So 21 and 23 for the
Both
2
hit.
blasts.
Yeah.
What's the DC for these guys? Because I got a 13.
AC.
Oh, you
for
mean
one
the
of them.
AC for them? 17.
No. Okay. Try to do a couple things. Doesn't work.
Okay.
So
what about Kenton?
14 damage.
Well,
Just
well,
another
One of them's
Sacred
down.
Flame.
Sacred Flame? Fail.
7 radiant damage.
The other one's down. The other one's left is on the far side. You, I think, still have another attack, don't you?
No, my first attack missed. Second 2 attacks.
Okay, cool. Well,
Did 21 total.
Whir hasn't gone yet.
Whir hasn't gone, but
You can't tell me.
there's nothing else in melee because they're both dead.
No. Yeah, they're gone. The other one is up there is about like 20 feet away.
So Whir can start tromping off after
Whir
that.
can make it there.
Moonchild will firebolt.
Okay, cool. Go ahead. Yeah. That one's already damaged, too.
And we're just gorilla slamming.
Yeah, so that's 19.
Ooh, yep. Or I guess the spinny tail thing.
That's only 6.
6. Okay, it's still not looking great.
Babies in the corner.
Whir misses.
Whir misses. It's one turn, and it's going to try to.
Hit me for like 24 points of damage.
You see it like turn around and begin to like run and like bash itself in its head, like constantly like into the golden door, like constantly over and over and over until it's like bones shatter into splinters until there's nothing left and it starts to fall to pieces.
This is the golden door.
I know.
that's no
I was
bueno.
making a joke.
And that's where you are before this golden door.
Cool.
Is this a good place to have some food?
In 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Michael, are you all right?
Oh. I could use a little bit of your power. As I turn to Argus and kind of wipe off the blood. Oh wait, that's teriyaki.
Shade
sauce.
goes
He
from
could-
body to body and tries to like examine stuff, and then
Argus, can you
heavily
make sure
incensed
he's not going to turn on us?
The thing
Why
swirled.
would he turn?
I'm alright.
Because we're fighting undead. And usually when undead...
He wasn't bitten though.
It was the noise, the bones.
no, he wasn't
You're,
bitten. That's
you're
correct.
rotting.
He was hit by a weapon. The weapon appears to be like still be there. It does appear to deteriorate and like rust rather quickly now that it's no longer
you mean my-
wielded by the
You're
individual that
rotting.
was wielding it.
I just want to make sure that's
Yes.
not bad.
Oh,
Sounds pretty
teriyaki,
bad.
so
It's almost
I'm
like
gonna
it
move
caused
that
his
off.
skin to rust. Like all of the time that should have affected the weapon over this time had affected him. And now that the wielder of the weapon is no longer there, the weapon appears to rust and deteriorate and like.
Succumb to time.
The thing I was sensing whirled or swirled or
It's through
went in
there,
the door. Yeah.
Okay. Where the guard was trying to get to.
Yeah, I don't know if it went in the door, but that's where it's leading me.
Okay.
Argus, make sure he's not going to bite us.
Alright,
Please.
I'll cast Cure Wounds at level 2.
Trisheni and I can look at the door.
Yeah, we'll take a look at these hieroglyphs, see what.
Both of you roll an
almost going
roll an
to
Arcana
fix
check.
it.
Shade's gonna help you. because she sees all these hieroglyphs and she's like,
Can I help Shay? Because I'm sure she's better at corner than I am.
Arcana?
she's got a plus 13.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can help Shade.
You're not that good at Arcana?
I mean, I'm good. I'm not.
But
I'm
not
not
Shay's
like
Only a
100.
dirty 20. She rolled really trash, but that's like about where.
So
you
did
need to
I.
be.
Dirty 20.
Oh yeah, so
Yeah,
I think
I mean-
both of you kind of look at each other as you're examining one door and the other, and you kind of come to the conclusion like this is magically sealed, but not magically sealed. Like this was sealed at one point before, not with magic, and then after, something after came much after this thing was sealed that caused it to be. Remember how we talked about circumstance? Something
Yeah.
about the circumstance that this was put here, like magic entered it afterward and caused the circumstance of it to be locked even more so, just because of how important it was. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yep.
Let's open it. Michael didn't say that. But
I mean,
Shade goes like,
You can eat magic?
there's one way to deal with these types of things, and she shoves her into the crease between the doors, shoves her scythe in there, and you see the scythe go like, there's an eye that opens on the scythe, and there the fangs and teeth along the scythe begin to go like, and you hear this kind of like kind of sound as the scythe begins to eat, and you see like this blue and green kind of being pulled and deteriorating the hieroglyphs as it pulls from each of the doors and starts to go. This is. I'm not sure this is enough though.
I'll cast Dispel Magic.
You cast a spell magic. It's like dropping a dropper of like a pipette of ink into water as it. But it's like a negative ink, so it like causes all of the strands of magic that's being pulled into her scythe to snap from their sources. The sources like starts to die down, and you kill like the majority of one of the other doors. And she's like, "There's more."
do I still feel the pull?
Oh yeah, real strong
Okay.
Not from the door, though.
from beyond it.
Yeah.
I can give her Bardic Inspiration.
Can I work on the mundane side of the lock?
Yes, you can.
So-
why don't you go ahead and do me a favor? Roll an either a history. No. Yeah, you know what? This will be a history check. Yeah. Because this will be intelligence based.
Okay.
Sorry.
So when she uses, if she's using it as an ability check,
She can use it as an arcana. Yeah.
then she gets basically you get to roll the die again. You roll 2 die and choose which one you want for the.
Okay, I
Bardic
get advantage
Inspiration.
on the inspiration. You got it.
Yeah.
Burning a Flash of Genius, 23.
23.
Just wanna
you
make
understand
sure.
that like some of these hieroglyphs
Yeah.
were placed into like understand like kind of and is a mundane kind of like ward like talisman like sometimes in like you see an anime like sometimes a talisman like ward off the devils with like this talisman and it has like certain kanji on it.
Yep.
It was like that, and it was meant in a mundane way to be like as a warning like don't, and you realize like later on magic entered it because of circumstance that made it that powerful. So if you try to deface some of these hieroglyphs, it could possibly lessen the amount of the effect that it has because
Okay.
it's under its own circumstance.
Sure.
Cool. Yeah.
Do you
So you
want-
start to like just chip away at some of them, or however you like to do it. You can
And you're
just take
still
your
hasted.
nails and like start to dig some shit out. It is
thinking-
gold. It's solid gold.
Thinking the Kopesh, because that's the most powerful
Okay. Cool.
like
Yeah.
blade that I have on me, and like just like scrape.
I'm gonna just roll that all into one roll. Like
Yeah.
you start to absolutely you successfully start
Like
to
a-
deface them.
Like a chisel on wood.
Yeah.
Like I take the Kopesh and like
Right. You're trying to like plane it
Yeah,
down and sand
correct,
it down.
yeah.
Yeah. You got it.
And then you're still hasted. Pulse wave towards us to open the door.
Oh, okay. Cool. Open the doors. You got it. She's gonna roll that
It's a
Arcana
D8.
check. Nice. So he gets advantage on it. So much better. Thank you for the advantage. That brings hers to a 37 for an Arcana check. As she just like you see the scythe start to split open as like both of its beaks are still embedded in the crease of the door, but it starts to split open and just go like, and like this tongue starts to flop out of the outside as it starts to like purple, then green, then puce as it starts to like just, and you see the staff of it begins to like get fatter and fatter and fatter as it's gorging itself on this magic. Whatever this is very strong. old magic that wasn't here when this thing was made, and was put on later. So you begin to deface it.
I'm collecting the gold flakes.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
you're like doing this thing. And
Waste not,
Like-
want not.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can like get a handful if you want a handful
like
of gold
sawdust
flakes.
off of the.
You can
the
put
power
that in your
tools.
inventory if you want a handful of gold flakes. Sure.
Still spends the same, right?
There is a type of like a
Shavings.
We'll find
like
a
a
use
crack
for it.
and stone when you heat it real hard and then you put water on it, like that kind of like rapid expansion and contraction type of thing. You hear
The
the
thermal
metal and
shattering.
it doesn't crack along the seam but cracks like along the seam and then diverts a little bit, and you pulse wave and pull and that piece that diverted falls Rosetta Stone style, tumbles before into the sand, and the other two, one is pulled wide open, the other one appears to be off its hinges and kind of stuck in the ground.
Are these actual gold?
Solid gold doors. These things are heavy as fuck.
1 second, guys. Open the cube.
We don't have we don't have moments. Okay, you
Wait,
open
is
the
there space
cube.
in the cube?
What do you
Yeah,
guys
'cause
like?
we
She's like
use stuff
rushing
from
into
the
this
cube.
room while he's unfolding the cube. The only thing you could even possibly lift would need help with somebody else really strong to put that broken piece in it. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I was.
You could do nothing.
That's what I was
About-
getting at.
Yeah, I'd say it's about like from shoulder to shoulder.
Sure.
I just love the big
From
of
Zendak
you
shoulder
and
to
me
shoulder.
going and running and grabbing this big door.
I go in after Shade.
So
We're
funny.
is like doing most of the work, but we're like there on the side, just like.
As soon as you like done closing up the cube, you can do that.
Yeah, yeah. And then follow in
Shade is
behind
in
her.
there, and she's like, "Fuck," and those it's pitch black in here.
Until Meckel runs in with
And you
his
raise it
torch.
with a torch, and as you raise the torch, you can see this oval circle of something you're very familiar with, but old, sitting along a dais. Nothing else in this room. A couple pillars, but just nothing else in this room. No exit, no entrance, except for the one that you came through of a well wall that just sits there, like 5 feet from the wall.
It's a wishing well.
No, this is not
No.
wishing well.
Not quite.
Remember the
Run up
photo
to
where
it.
my arm got cut off?
I
It's
think
like that.
So
Start.
we should probably take a second to eat before we go in.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
You can eat when you're dead.
Yeah, this is not the time. There's so much to learn here. What?
You said something was moving, falling forward.
I will try to sense again. Do I still get the thing?
It's faint now. It's fainter, but kind of.
Yeah, but it seems to. I will walk on the other side of the well wall and see if it sort of like the.
Now that you're
sensation-
tortured, now that you're like closer, you're realizing like this thing's not. It was hard to tell when you were just looking through the dark vision. You can't because you can't discern color. But now that you're like tortured, you're getting like closer and you're trying to like look on the other side of the window. You realize like it's open, it's active, but it's active from the other side. You can't see it from this side. But once you look on the other side, you see it like it's open.
The orifice is on the rear.
I don't.
There's a better way to say that, but yes.
The sphincter is open.
Look like a
guys?
normal well wall,
It does.
Can I
looks
see
like an
through
activating
it, or is
weapon.
it just?
like an active
Yeah.
well. Okay.
Maybe reason.
I mean,
It's
wall
through-
being normal is kind of
Well,
moronic, but
We've
yes, I know.
seen 3 of them.
Is there
so
any-
Yeah,
far.
thing
I know. Like, yes,
in this
to your
room
expectation, it does.
It's
appear-
not like corrupted.
It looks the same.
The sounds you made scared me a little.
Yeah, all of the wells have kind of been like that, kind of like incandescent, kind of oiled effect, like oil
Okay,
on water.
I was
that
just
kind of-
worried there was tentacles.
Yeah, that,
Yeah.
that was,
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
pretty much right next to the freaking well wall.
gave
So
me tentacle vibes. And I was
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
alone.
I think
That was
it's
the-
What do you guys
here.
do it because it looks like its thing is like getting
Hopping through.
slowly smaller.
You're gonna hop through? Why?
Fuck
Why?
yes.
Why? Why?
Zebdek
With the
jumps
tentacles?
around and say, Meckel's like, it's open on the rear of the orifice, and Zebdek's like, well, and he just grabs it, by
Runs
the-
around the
Gonna start
corner.
spelunking again.
I've
Jump
already
right in.
lost Zemdak once. I'm running right after.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll run after.
the two short kings run right into the thing.
I just shake my head and run in. I don't.
Shade jumps in right after you.
I guess we're doing this shit again.
I mean,
Come on, it's fun.
he felt.
And you're alone in this room
I'm
with the
going
torch.
into the well wall.
You just
Well wall.
He
before
felt
the
the
orifice
presence.
closes.
I'm-
Yes.
yeah, and
This
you.
is what we're supposed
So
to
you
be
guys,
doing.
it's the shortest trip you've ever experienced in a well wall. It's like, and that's it, and you're thrown out. You only get a moment to like your eyes to adjust to all the whirls of colors before you are like thrown onto sand. Yet again, surrounded by a bunch of other like limestone and sandstone stuff before you, except there's large pillars. A log, you like as soon as you come up, you realize like, whoa.
This is the place.
The sconces aren't lit, but this is the exact same room that you had in your dream, but old as fuck and not shiny and not lit, and the paint is all faded and all that stuff.
Well, there's still light because I managed to land in the sand.
And you hear something like this.
I want to disguise myself as the person I disguise myself in the dream.
Sure, you disguise yourself as the person who decides what do you dream. You gonna go towards the sound?
Well, no, I'm just. I'm just.
You just do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just do that.
I mean, I assume we all like reform.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
in like one spot of it. It's supposed to be like in the lower
phalanx.
left corner.
And
Me in the
I'll
center.
say that this is the room.
I think because of where you are, because of your 120 feet, you can see. You see something. There's something up on a dais, like it looks like some sort of sarcophagus or something, and there's just a figure just leaning over it, like petting it and scratching it.
Does it look like Belias?
You have to get closer.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure Shade's impatient, so
Yeah.
Shade goes into like the shadow of the area
Yeah,
because that's what
we'll
she
start-
does and starts flanking and go, but still moving in that direction.
start slowly making our way, like cautiously, looking behind the pillars as we go past. Like,
Sure. I mean, one of the things you notice is that there appear to be like figures embedded into the wall, like humanoid shaped and size, like every like 6 feet or so, as you walk past them, and they're like that whole thing where like you do a double take because you thought it was a person, and like the mannequin scared you, and you're like, fuck.
are these actual mummies, or
Would you
are
like to
they
take the time to check?
Yes,
You want to take the time?
I do.
Okay, go ahead and roll investigation check.
I want to
while
look
he-
at one of them.
While he's doing that, why don't you roll investigation or medicine? Either one is going to come with completely different results.
Another nat 20. That is
Okay, can you save some of those for the combat?
This is a 33 investigation.
33 investigation. At one point, these things were alive. You're not sure what they are now, but they are in the wall. They are look to be mummified and then had stuff put on top of them.
If they came back to life, would we have to worry about them?
There's only one way to find out that.
No, I just mean like their physical bodies.
At one point, they were alive.
If undead becomes them, like they're gonna come attack.
It's actually interesting. If these were alive, because they are intact and they are now dead, it's very strange that they're not animate right now, seeing as
Already?
another thing that you're starting to see as you get closer, it's very obviously not alive and movement and animate.
Guys, these are real bodies.
Okay, I can't hold the concentration anymore. You're gonna be tired for a second, Zemdak. Sorry.
That's fine.
It's all the 6 seconds.
Shade starts to get close and like is nodding and like Meckle, you just like in the
Oh
corner.
no,
with
I'm
your
by
torch.
Argus.
Yeah.
Doing that, but
Log
just
as
next to
like
Argus.
kind of, I assume like the whole group's kind of like just getting closer and like seeing what's going on. You are able to see like this is Bondant Belias, but Bondant Belias is dead.
Do I?
Yeah.
Can I recognize anything in here given my history of learning about?
There's a lot of hieroglyphs here.
Yeah.
They're in an old, like an older dialect. Not a lot of it has changed, but a lot of it is faded. If you want to actually try to read this, it's going to take time. It's not something you can like read right away. At least unless you want to try to do
Or
it.
just
I would
not
say
just general. Not. I would like to do a history check in order to see what's going on in this room exactly.
sure. It's
I
like
just
there.
let me see if this
was
is like
the
kosher
relief
or not.
into the
Okay.
wall.
Yeah.
Like there was like the wall was
you
carved
get
out
4
enough
more.
for them to be put into the wall, and they were mummified and then covered with like ceremonial garb or
Yeah.
armor or something like that.
They're not
You
like
wanna-
stone.
No, these
like,
look like
behind a thing.
as like they're wearing the thing that would cover it, just like how a mummy is
Yeah.
covered with a bunch of stuff.
Correct.
They're covered with that stuff, but you can see that through deterioration
Yes.
that there was a live body in here
Correct.
at one time.
You can get to the body if you
Which
want.
is very odd that the thing's not moving right now, given the
Yes.
curse of the wandering. But that thing is
Right.
Yeah.
Bondant Belias near the thing. You can roll a history check. You can attempt to speed read if you want to do that.
I would. Yeah. and
Give me
now-
1 second. You can do it every turn to get some information.
I'm gonna
but you'll
do-
have to roll a history check every turn.
I'm gonna do a history check and then I'm gonna do a religion check if I can.
Cool.
Just
So
given.
here's the deal. There are 2 walls that have the most hieroglyphics on them. The 2 walls, the big walls on either side, and there are 6 pillars. One is ruined and like fallen, and then there's like and each of them are in pairs. There's like the pillar that are closest to the sarcophagus are in a pair. The pillars that are like in the middle are a pair, and the pillars that are closest to like where you came in are a pair, and that's one of those is ruined.
Okay.
There are hieroglyphs on all of the pillars and on the 2 walls, and what you can tell on the sarcophagus. And there perhaps are some on the far wall as well, beyond the sarcophagus, but you'll have to get closer to really tell.
And you said on the walls too, where the
Pretty
individuals
much on
are buried?
every surface except for the wall you came from.
Okay.
And I will give you inspiration.
Okay.
So
So is that a D6 or D8?
it's a D8.
Okay.
And
How do you do so?
Huh?
How do you give inspiration?
I basically see her going up to this blank wall because it looks blank to me.
Yeah.
And I will ask you what you're doing.
Trying to figure out what's going on here.
Oh, you're smart enough. And give her.
Like, what are you doing, brah? Good luck.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, D8. You roll 2 dice and then pick which one you want.
Cool. You can attempt to speed read if you
Oh,
like.
okay.
You are disguised as this individual. And
As the same person I was in.
And you hear like the scratching,
Interference. We're gonna re-roll that one. 'cause
Stop.
that was interference by this thing.
and then there's like a creaking as this thing appears to like come up. It was like leaning and like caressing the sarcophagus. It appears to like stand up and like turn around. It looks like a fresh corpse that has been turned undead, in the robes of the unascended. Looks a lot like Bondant Belias.
How far away are they?
No more than like 30 feet ish.
I want to telepath with it.
Okay.
I told you we were coming for you. That we would find you.
The response you get is not speech, but this feeling of hunger, eat, thirst, hunger, eat, thirst, hunger, eat, kneel, worship, hunger, thirst, kneel, worship, hunger, thirst. And you just feel like this is oppressive, just have to devour.
But they don't look like Boots type of undead. They look like a different type of undead.
They are something that died in the maw and came back undead, because that's what happens when things die in the maw. Like zombie. Maitan zombie.
He's thirsty.
It does appear to speak. Who's here speaks Merisian? It does speak like with the tongue out in Merisian, and it just says, "Let me show you," and digs its claws into the sarcophagus and just blows the top of the sarcophagus off. And at the moment that the top of the sarcophagus is blown off, there's like a purple kind of puce glow in the ceiling of like the small.
Wait.
Sure. Yeah.
Just spell magic.
Can I? You let me know if you consider this a attack or anything like that.
What is it?
Temporal shunt.
To push what?
To target the creature that's opening the sarcophagus to move, shunt it back in time and to do something else.
Oh, like to a turn before?
Not even to return before, but it's basically like you
It
target.
changes its initiative, right?
No, at the start of its next turn, the target reappears where it was or its closest unoccupied space. I basically just stop it.
Right. You blink it away,
Yeah.
so it doesn't take its turn until its next turn.
Can
Got it.
I pop No Gods, No Kings?
Yeah, and that works for religious magic, and
No.
it's a fucking zealot. I mean, it's not doing any magic though; it's just grabbing something, but it's just physically grabbing something. What is your
As
intention?
it was popping, as it popped open and it releasing, because he's
The contingency magic.
You can. It sticks for a while, doesn't it?
it's a 30-foot radius sphere around me that
Does it stay for a while, or is it just a pulse?
I think it's a pulse.
Okay. You don't see this thing casting any magic.
Okay.
But she can do the temporal shunt. Does somebody know what the save is?
Well, I'll wait. If she's doing a shunt, that's not. I was because you were saying a bunch of magic was popping off.
It's like whatever it is, whatever, like there's something that like some sort of that's appearing in the ceiling. That you don't see any vocal, somatic, material components from this zombie, from this
Right,
Minotaur
but
zombie. that's
I
pulling
mean,
it.
mine negates even magical weapons or anything that is related
If
to
it comes
religious.
from,
Yeah.
The room is doing something magical. The zombie popped the sarcophagus.
you don't know
open.
what's happening. All
Right.
this is just all what you see. You can do if that's what you want to do. You could do that.
Oh,
Hi.
Okay.
For-
What's up?
So
What's the save?
the save is,
Wisdom save.
I believe so.
Okay. That's a 2. No matter what it
Yeah.
is, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, wisdom save.
Oh, it actually says until the end of my next turn, so it does last.
Right.
Yeah. Doesn't remember anything.
So you see this thing dig its nails into the seam of where the lid of the sarcophagus. And you see the sarcophagus start like kind of moving back and forth, and then you temporal shunt it,
yeah.
and it just disappears.
And then I run up as fast as I can to be there to be ready to attack
Like
it
disappear.
for a round.
She
yeah.
like puts it forward in time.
Okay.
She
Yeah.
like literally puts it in forward in time 6 seconds, which is wild. It just goes like.
Yeah, so the sarcophagus doesn't open. I run up as fast as I possibly can to
The
try
sarcophagus.
to, because it's just a reaction. So then
Yeah.
I'll start dancing again and run up and be ready for it when it reappears, so that I can try to attack it.
You got it. That doesn't seem to affect what's happening up here. Apparently there's some kind of puce, what looks like tear that seems to be opening. Looks portal-esque. That appears to be in the ceiling. And it just kind of sits there and hangs there for a moment as it kind of starts to melt like a melting clock. And then something falls through and hits the ground. Looks like an ibcast of some type in robes with like horns and like cracks in its skin. And then the thing reappears.
I just, since I'm dancing, I do 2 attacks, lightning and...
Cool.
and-
So we're going to have a roll initiative when we come back from our break then. All right? Cool. Stick with us. We'll be back soon. And stay safe out there.
Wait,
think
no,
you
no,
mean-
no.